Okay. We should be live. Hello and good evening. I hope you are having yourself an amazing day or an amazing night or an amazing afternoon wherever you are. It's evening here, quite a cold one, and my balcony is once more under the influence of just bitter cold from outside, and I am not enjoying it. But it's okay. Actually, it's tolerable because it's not windy. Sometimes it just gets so windy that even through like the windows that we have, and we replaced the windows when we moved back in here. It's just horrible. Like you can hear and feel like the wind from the outside, and even though it doesn't exactly touch you because of like the windows and whatnot, just just kind of being there in in place and not allowing the direct current to hit you, you still feel your legs freezing. He adds, "Oh, the YouTube? Oh, welcome back, Cupcake. How are you doing? Good morning. I hope you are having a good. Well, I'm gonna say morning because it's most likely and most probably morning to you. How are you? Yeah, today's gonna be a bit of a chill day. I've actually been thinking about how I want to do, all these videos. Like every time I have like a day or two of, raid nights or whatever, like I get so many videos piled up. And yesterday, I was just like browsing different things that I've been wanting to see, and you guys already had like stuff that you wanted me to see, that I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to create 2 hours pretty much worth of content. So we can all watch these videos. I do not like to fall behind on them, and they are so good. Some of the ones that you sent me, I just wanted to watch, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait to watch it with you, and I just feel so much better doing that. Even though, I mean, yeah, in reality, like if I wanted to later do a video on it or something, like I could record myself at home or whatever, but like what's the fun in that? What's the fun in doing it that way when I can just spend time with you, and we can both kind of, I don't know, feel like I don't know, we're hanging out or something. Like that's pretty much the way I see my stream. So I'm trying to enjoy that from that let's call it a little bit of a selfish point of view as well, where I don't know. I care about my own experience as well, and I try to do fun things with you. And when it comes to these grindy stuff, or just anything that's really not that interesting at all, I just keep it for after stream. But how are you? How is it the beginning of weekend? It should be Wednesday, Friday. That's right. Today is Friday for sure. My days this week have been kind of a little bit of a blur. I didn't really get enough sleep or enough of anything, but I'm still feeling pretty good. Hi, Lunit. Welcome back. What's up? So yeah, today we're gonna have just a chill day. I'm not gonna spend the whole stream watching videos. I will continue with Hildy, but I figured Hildy was going pretty fast. Like I think I just finished like the 3.4, so today I'm supposed to do the Hildebrand, the finale of the quest line, and then maybe even move on to Stormblood. So yeah. Oh, this weekend. Are you at work right now though? I'm just always finding it very hard to adapt to, well, basically your mindset and your schedule, and I don't know when you work. It's always so chaotic. What's your schedule looking like when it comes to the stuff that you were telling me about, that you were gonna change it or something, so that you could, I don't know, have more time or whatever. I think that's kind of what I understood. Are you gonna be shifting some shifts so that you can have more time, or just feel better and sleep at night? Like, I'm not a huge advocate for sleeping at night, so you probably shouldn't ask me, but that's fine. Anywho, I have a ton of stuff that I wanted to watch today. I don't even know. I don't even know how long all these videos are. I actually took the calculator just before the stream, and I was like, I'm gonna type it all in, and I'm gonna see how much content we have. And I actually had to cut a few videos because I figured that this is probably too much. Quit work. Oh, is it that bad? Aw. Feels bad to hear that. Anyway, this is one of the videos that I actually found yesterday. So I was just like sitting there browsing through YouTube, and like the topic was just too funny, and I was like, I can't believe I haven't seen this one before. You guys probably have seen this one, so it's probably not a massive deal or anything. But this is a video by Zepla, and it's about can you meet girls or guys in Final Fantasy XIV. I actually just really admire her content in a way that she makes these videos that no one really thinks of, and I guess that's why she's where she's at. But I just think they're awesome. They're really good ideas, and I love how she touches on like the psychological kind of standpoint of MMOs and stuff, kind of like Joestar, but not really in that way. He's more of a classy, serious kind of guy with like a lot of insight and whatever, and she's more of an I guess emotional person when it comes to that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this video. I've been I wanted to see it yesterday. I clicked on it and I was like, oh shit, tomorrow is the stream. I shouldn't be saying shit that much. That's okay. I will stop. Anyway.
Hey Buns, well I think it is.
Oh, that's a little bit quiet. Her videos are usually quiet. Okay, are we ready?
Hey Buns, well I think it is inevitable that when you have people being social together, like happens in an MMO, you're gonna have people who clash and like don't get along, and on the other side of things, you'll have people who get along very well indeed.
I love her face when
Final
she says
Fantasy,
that.
as far as I'm aware, is not a dating service. Probably shouldn't play it as one, but at the same time, I am filled with curiosity of situations where people may have actually found their real life partner.
Oh, I wonder if she's gonna go through these like Twitter replies and Discord stuff that she usually goes through when she does these analytics. They're so fun.
Through the game. So I asked on Twitter, have you ever found love in Final Fantasy XIV? A crush or a romantic relationship with someone you met in game? And if so, do you regret it, or are y'all married now? I expect that it will probably run the gamut between like the good, the bad.
No, this is a question where you get
one morning while
so
farming
many answers.
Alexandrites before work. 5 years later, married and having 2 kids.
Aw.
Still playing Final Fantasy XIV.
That's
You can tell your kids
adorable.
that they were unspoiled nodes. Found my love doing some ocean fishing. Thanks to COVID, we had enough time to level Fisher and to get in a conversation every 2 hours.
Aw.
The only thing I regret is that I waited too long to chat.
Oh, that's so
Hey,
adorable.
I guess you reeled in a catch.
It's actually funny. I've never
How
fished
big
in
was his
FF.
rod? I'm sorry.
Is this something that normally happens with fishing? Do you know anyone? I've never fished. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. My ex did. Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ouch. Ooh. So this is the person whose ex partner found a partner in FF. Ouch.
I didn't meet my wife in 14, but I did get her into playing it. 3 years later, with our desks opposite each other, I got down on one knee and gave her both the eternal bonding ring in game and in real life.
Oh,
very much still together. That's so cute.
That is so adorable.
Love, baby, don't hurt me.
Oh, she can
don't
actually
hurt
sing.
Me. No more. Met in real life, traveled through 3 countries to meet this person and help them with all sorts of things. Bought them stuff in and out of the game, and after 6 months, no words anymore. They left me without a word, taking away my life in Final Fantasy XIV as they kept the mansion I bought and lots of Gillen items. I've been weak and bought them things they wanted without thinking much because I love to please people and stuff. To my mind, if a friend needed a thing and I can provide it, then I do what I can to help them. Not anymore. So yeah, I share that story because I would appreciate it a lot if someone with a community as big as yours could send a message to players to not fall in traps like that in the game. Yeah, don't let your kindness be taken advantage
Oh my
of
god.
too many times and I regret it all. Whoa. I'm too stoic and neutral to find love. I'm sorry. If you mean the
These
love
are
of
too good.
crafting, then I rekindled a love of hitting rocks with a pickaxe. Well, that's perfectly fine.
I
mean,
can endorse
never
that.
get the rocks off. Me and my girlfriend met through a mutual friend on 14. It was my first time meeting someone romantically in a game. She helped me through a ton of tough times. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Yes, if this does end up in the video, I love you, Corey. Ah! We got a god.
Advice like this just creates a surge of those people who just like go around and try to chat everyone up, and they're just like, I saw that people can find love here. I am determined. I'm gonna do it.
Had more heartbreak, met and enjoyed the company of another player for years. We got the in-game marriage for the items and some fun. I admitted to them a few months to a year later that I was growing a crush on them and got the friend zone instead.
Ouch.
Still stings a bit. I know a lot of people do get the in-game marriage just for the items, like to get the mount and stuff. But
how?
Even if you both agree, we're just doing this to get the items, it's still kind of this sense like
14 better than Tinder, yeah, for sure.
It's hard to shake that feeling.
But these stories, man.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I didn't meet my ex in 14, but that was how we bonded and really got to know each other. It was something we did a lot together. Somehow, divorcing him in game was more satisfying than the actual breakup itself.
Wait, can you divorce in game? Or is eternal bonding, like when you do it, is it actually freaking eternal? Is it, like, I don't even know how that works, but is there like an undo or something?
You can divorce people in game?
Exactly!
You take the ring and drop them in the fires of Ifrit. Not on 14, but one night in 2014, I went to a bar with a friend and she introduced me to him, and while we were talking, we both realized we play 14. We later dated and got married and rated 2 and 3.0 content together, but it didn't work out.
Aww.
Still friends, though.
How could you not be?
Pepsi Man really was ruthless. It's not just a static killer. I brought my ex-girlfriend into the game and I regret it since she was emotionally...
the items of Eternal Bond, there's a mount, and there's I think there's an emote, and I don't know if there's an achievement, but there are a few things. I think there's like 2 or 3 options that you can get, and like I guess the most expensive one has like all of it included, and then the other ones, pretty much all of them allow you to get married, and I think with all of them you get the mount. I'm actually not sure, maybe with the middle when you get the mount. Don't ask me, I don't know too much about it.
Abusive. Haven't found love yet, but I can wait. Well, I'm happy to hear that she is an ex, and yeah, it's better to be alone than to be with somebody who is like that. Back in 2.0, raiding with a group and started spending time with my co-healer. We played together through Realm Reborn and then met at the first Fan Fest in 2014. We got along real well, kept in touch, started visiting each other. We are now married and have been for 5 years.
These stories are so encouraging for everyone who's like on this road. It's like you feel like you're not the only one, right?
We're co-healers. Are you telling me you had the hots for each other? Well, I'm not sure if it counts, but I did not expect to fall in love with a hot, monologuing Garlean man and a huge helmet when I got into this game. That's for certain. No regret. Are you talking about such affection? Was not my intention. Jokes aside, I'm single and happy to stay that way.
I don't know. I like to be optimistic about these things. Yeah, there are a ton of freaks, and sometimes things can end poorly, but these replies are actually pretty good, aren't they?
Wouldn't let Gaius hear that. In my dreams, maybe. I can't help but laugh because of your avatar. My now husband and I met through Final Fantasy 14 through a mutual friend. I joined the server and he and I hit it off instantly. I'm American, he's Australian. We've now been married for 3 years and I live in Australia with him.
That's insane.
That's amazing. That he could play Final Fantasy 14 on an Australian connection. Seriously though, that's wonderful. In Limsa, a Viera struck my heart. I offered her some Realm Reborn Red and some Gil. She responded with 69 gil and the crafting material, rubber. Well, you wouldn't need a rubber with 69 go. I've been trying to farm the striking
Ouch.
set from Void Ark for quite a while. I didn't want to subject anyone to the torment of that raid, so I never asked for anyone to come with me until the day I couldn't take it anymore. I sent out a message in the FC chat, and only one person responded. Lo and behold, the final piece I needed dropped that very run, and I told her that I should have asked her to come sooner if she was going to get my pants to drop that fast. I didn't realize how that sounded until I hit enter. We've been together for 4.5 years now, and I plan to propose.
So good.
Because the world isn't quite so crazy anymore. My boyfriend met because one of our friends paid me 250,000 gil to follow him around in game because he feels intimidated when tall men stand behind him. That was over a year ago, and February marks our 1-year anniversary. It seems like he wasn't too terribly intimidated. Yes, big regret though. I've learned that it's really hard to get to know someone well enough to get that involved. It can work out, but exercise extreme caution, folks. Yeah, I think that's a word to the wise in this thread that may get people very excited about possibly meeting someone. For a time, a few years ago, but ultimately my unhappiness and inability to keep relationships intact seeped into online life.
Oh my God,
I
that's
started
so
playing
sad.
MMOs to distract from real life, but it began mirroring real life pretty quickly. It just goes to show escape isn't always the best.
This is why I gave up on Sims. Like a few times, like when I was younger, I would try to play Sims, and then I create a perfect family, and they're all, you know, happy and whatever. And back then, like, I wasn't obviously a parent or anything, and I thought that you know, kids were kind of a drag. And every time, like, okay, like I would have this couple, and they would get a job or whatever, but then like they get a baby, and they never see each other anymore. This guy works night shift, she works during the day, they take care of the kid, and then the kid grows up and they never see each other, and no matter how much you try to just kind of, you know, reconnect them, but you can't, and it just sucks. Never play Sims.
Yeah, like if your relationships in real life are not working out because you still need to work on yourself, don't expect a relationship within the game to be too much different. The medium is different, but you're still the same person. I didn't know where exactly to start looking, but I knew I didn't want to look in Limzo. Oh. Like, I feel like I just heard everyone in Limza let out a collective just
I
a
felt
few
a bit
months
of a
back, I
stab.
began the game, and I was focused on raiding, so I knew I wanted a raider waifu. I looked in Kugane every day, searching for happiness. One day I seen a beautiful bunny lady who was new to 14 like myself and looking to raid. Got married not too long after, and the rest is history. A small piece of advice: always marry your healers. It's like bringing a babysitter into raids, but you're their favorite.
Yeah, it's such a good
Fantasy
advice.
14 isn't sword art online. Just find love
That's
in
the
real
best.
life, you weaves. I met my fiance after swapping servers and joining a very small FC. I joined the raid group. She and I started talking randomly, which led to Discord chats, which led to her visiting me in Ohio from California. Then I visited her and her family. Now we have a house together in Nevada and have a wonderful life. So many great things from Final Fantasy XIV.
Aww.
I love seeing love flourish in 14. It's beautiful to see others happy in a game I love dearly. Yeah. However, I've seen way too much of the negative post-breakup drama that happens when things don't work out. People who were thought of as friends take sides and outright harass the ex. It's ugly. I needed help with Eden.
Yeah, I guess with guilds,
Savage,
it gets
and asked one of my friends if he knew a tank
FCs.
that would be able to help. He brought in my current girlfriend as a tank, and we didn't click immediately. I was a new raider and jumped into the edge more than once as a dragoon, so it was fairly frustrating for her. After a while, I improved a lot, and we started talking about a bunch of things outside of raiding, and eventually decided to start dating each other. I love that she waited for you to get better.
Yeah, it's like, this is what I wanted to say. Like, sometimes is the entry to the relationship you actually just kind of, you know, getting decent at your job so that the person would pay attention to you. Man, I hope not.
As a dragoon before. We would decide to start dating. There's some motivation for some of you dragoons to improve. I met my now ex-wife in game during Heaven's Ward. I was spamming dungeons to level Dark Knight, and she was a DPS on the same server. We moved in together after a year and a half of dating. Then I screwed up and asked her to marry me. We got married last year and bought a house and got 2 dogs. Well, now she ran off with someone else she met in game, and I'm stuck with the boys in a house I can't afford.
Oh,
So in short,
shit.
2 out of 5 wouldn't recommend.
We got married last year and bought a house and 2 dogs since she ran off with someone else she met in game. Stuff with the boys in the house again. Imagine, imagine the spite this person feels every time they log into the game. Oh my god.
I find you gave it 2 points out of 5.
Yeah, it's like 2 for 2 kids.
You, really. Oh no, this is the response I got. Sorry. I want to share a story that I'm pretty familiar with because it involves 2 people that are in.
And you have to take into consideration that the game is not even that old. The game is like what, 8 or 9 years old or something? Like they really, you know, hurried along that line.
In my static, Zem, our tank, and Morgana, our scholar. Zem wrote here on the tweet saying, I've been playing 14 for 7 years, and it has given me everything. Happiness, friendship, and even love. I met Morgana 4 years ago during Heavensward, and we spent a lot of time together. Decided to try meeting in person. We clicked and been together ever since.
Aww.
I proposed to her during Paris Fan Fest in front of most of our Final Fantasy 14 friends. We are currently planning our real-life wedding. The engagement ring is pink morganite, both similar to her in-game name, and
That's
it's
crazy.
her favorite color. And I can show you actually a picture of the engagement ring. I got a DM from someone who told me that they have a crush on everybody on Crystal Data Center. Apparently y'all are really sexy over there. Still waiting for Graha to DM me. Well,
I get that.
He probably is trying. He just keeps accidentally DMing other people. It'll take him a few tries. Have you ever had a crush?
That is one of the best drama puns I've heard in my life.
Someone in game or found love in Final Fantasy 14? How did that go for you? Would you recommend that, or would you say never again? Never, never, never. I feel like some people will share this video with someone they're crushing on, and they'll be like, hey.
Yeah, we can do this.
What happened? What can happen? I hope it goes well for you if you're in that situation. But
that was
if
a good
it goes
video.
Badly, I am not
it's not my
responsible
fault
for that.
Yeah.
Please don't come run into me like, well, Zeppel said I could find the Prince Charming. If I was working, you never know what can happen. Please be safe, be careful, use your own judgment, be really sure you know the person before you decide to go and meet them in real life.
This is
like,
probably one of her best videos that I've seen.
Amount of video
it's so
chatting,
funny.
and make sure you feel like you're very comfortable and not feeling unsafe or don't have any red flags. You know, maybe reach out to your friends, people who care about you, and let them know about this person and get their opinions on the person as well.
I can see people posting these like pictures as a follow-up, like what friends.
Watching. If you like this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your fellow Warriors of Darkness.
Oh, you shared.
Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
That was a good video, wasn't it? I love that. That was a dad trapped in buddy trapped a 42-year-old woman's body. What makes you say that? Hi, Cuban. Hi, Daft. Hi, Walt. Hi. Oh, Cupcake was already here. Hi, Victor. Hi, everyone. Who did I miss? I don't know. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're having a movie theater. We're watching tons of these awesome videos. I hope you like this one. This is a lot of fun to watch. She's I think she's 41 or 42, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, when you think about it, there's well, I often think about it, like, not that I compare myself to like other content creators or anything like that in such a way, but I've only just started, and I'm just like, okay, well, I have this amount of years to make it to that point, and I suddenly feel okay. She does look young. She's hilarious. Why would someone being 42 mean that they're not hilarious? Yeah, she's I think at least that's her reason. This is actually supposed to be another well, apparently funny, but also probably educational for me who I haven't played all the jobs. But this is the prejudice about all the jobs. So another video that can call out my whole chat. So yeah, let's watch it.
Everybody thinks that I'm so pure and helpful, but really, I don't give a hoot. My spells by themselves are pretty good, you know, like they do a lot of healing potency, but
I love
really
these wings.
Don't want to push any of them. I just don't like pushing those buttons. And actually, I'm very happy because I got a whole bunch of not healing buttons this expansion, especially my blood lily.
Wait, which expansion is this?
Oh, you're hurt? Blood for the blood lily. I'm a machinist. Would you like to see my gunpla collection? There's a bunch of perfect grades in there. You should see them. I custom painted them. Anyways, mecha are pretty cool, and that's why I built my own. She's my queen, and she really gets me overheated, if you know what I mean. Are you
I love his sense of humor.
Don't you just want to go ape shit?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool it down there, inner voice. I'm sorry about him. What I meant to say was, I'm Batman. In other words, like Darkness and Soul Reaver and what else? A Blood Shadow Spiller. This video is sponsored by Dysterra. Link in the description.
That was sudden.
Dysterra is a survival game with a futuristic setting. On this perishing Earth,
it's like you're expecting another job and you're suddenly somewhere like far away from Eurasia.
However, beware of other players because not all of them are friendly. You could build bases and tools to survive other players and enemies. You'll find various weapons and items ranging from modern stuff to even high-tech futuristic ones. So if Dysterra looks interesting to you, they'll be beginning their beta test for 2 weeks, starting on Tuesday, July 6th. So click the link in the description below.
I'm always iffy about these limited time things when you put them in a video.
Because, now back to the video. I don't need a weapon. My body is the weapon. And also a temple. Please pay no attention to the fact that I do indeed have a weapon equipped. Unless you're looking at how cool it is, in which case that's acceptable. Also, pay no attention to the fact that I'm not doing positionals at all. It's because it's very hard to do positionals, and that's why I don't do it. Hey, yeah, so I usually play Black Mage, but my setting says something about needing more raises for prog. Not sure what they mean by that. Nothing on my hotbar says anything about raising. By the way, don't my spells look cool? Good thing I don't have to do anything other than cast these really cool looking spells, huh? Spin to win, that's what I always say. Though recently I haven't been doing any
Does he have like all the relics ever?
It's just not required anymore. For the past 6 years I've been required in raid groups, and now look at me. I'm just normal like the rest of you. Bahamut did nothing wrong. In fact, aside from not listening to what I tell him to do, and also just flat out forgetting to
that thing is huge.
He's been nothing but nice
like when I started FF, I thought that thing was an ad that I couldn't target. Don't ask.
So I honestly have no idea what I'm doing, but I sure look good doing it. It's tough being so popular. Not everybody can handle the pressure. Everywhere I go, people are throwing commendations at me and asking to be my partner, to which I say, relax everybody, there's plenty of me to go around. There once was a bard, his name was Larry, and didn't he know how to play
big ass arrows are what's making me want to level 1.
I used to be helpful,
I have
but now
so many
I'm
good
not.
logs.
Dancer took that from me, and now I'm
still struggling with my vocab.
But hey, I still play my harp because I love to sing. Hey, look at this sweet guitar. Darkness,
this whole video is somehow dark.
And darker than dark. I beseech thee, combine with my deep crimson. The time of awakening cometh. Justice, fallen upon the infallible boundary, appear now as an intangible distortion. Dance, dance, dance.
I thought that once you finish the, what's it called? The ultimate, I thought you get, like, enough tokens to buy like every single weapon or whatever. Like maybe I just vastly misunderstood that, but in order for people to not have to go there like 10 times and do it, I think you can just get all of them.
I desire for my torrent of power a destructive force without equal. Return all creation to cinders and come from the abyss. That means I cast Fire 4. Get behind me, my friends.
One token for one weapon? What? So that's not true? Oh, well that kind of stinks.
Protect you. That's my favorite line, haha. I love being good and not thinking about any bad things or evil things. Life is really happy and good.
I'm actually quite surprised.
I'm the poster boy for Endwalker? How splendid.
So
I hope everybody else gets
you have to pick
like
your main
soon.
job and just get that one weapon.
Did you know that Heaven's Word is about a bunch of dragon fuckers being exiled by old church guys who think nobody should be allowed to fuck dragons? So then the dragon.
But at least everyone gets the tokens, right?
To fuck the church, so everyone can be.
I think I know where I misunderstood it. I misunderstood it because they said that you get like 8 tokens, but it's not 8 tokens per person. It's 8 tokens per group. So the token is not a random roll, but everyone gets 1 token. But my optimistic mind was just like, oh, you can just go once and clear it and just get all of that. Okay, I see now where the confusion happened. I need to be more realistic.
Be allowed to fuck dragons? And that's why I'm a dragoon. Me warrior, me beast mode and wreck shit. Do you have a minute to talk about our Lord and Savior, Fellcleave? Well, because I'm going to talk about Fellcleave because basically that's all I ever do. We liked it so much that they made it our entire rotation, and you know what? I'm okay with that. Space is pretty cool. Here's a card. Did you know about space? Here, take another card. Have you actually ever looked at any stars? Because, oh, here's one more card. I have, and they are just divine. You should try looking into the sun. I love their animations, though. They're so pretty. Final Fantasy VIII is truly the epitome of what a role-playing game has to offer. Squall Leon Hart from Kingdom Hearts is my favorite Kingdom Hearts character. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm a DPS, but they made my icon blue, so apparently that means I need to get aggro on things, and it just kind of happens anyway, like I don't really gotta think about it. Also, after raid, I'm gonna go play some Devil May Cry. Anybody want to join me? Right, yeah, so my DPS rotation is Broil, followed by Broil, followed by another Broil. Are you writing this down? You might want to.
Unfortunately, a lot of these jokes I don't get, because I haven't tried all of them.
Oh, the fairy over there?
But I know enough from you guys
me around. People seem to think that I'm healing them, but I don't think that Broil has a heal effect to it. Unclear. I enjoy long walks on the beach while watching anime. 2D is all I need. And while you were enjoying your 3D life, I studied the blade. Now look at me. I am the damage. Please don't nerf me. Also, have you ever seen the anime Sword Art Online?
They kind of, I don't know, they kind of had to make Samurai just freaking OP when they did it, in my opinion. That was really good. Okay, who are you people? Morgan, welcome back. How are you doing? And did I miss anyone? Okay, let's see. Yeah, is there gonna be a new ultimate? You guys know? Where again concur, there's a whole part of your rotation that is just spamming Fellcleave, really? Well, I guess I shouldn't really be surprised. I mean, well, okay, Red Mage doesn't have it, but like with Pally, you definitely have, you know, situations where you're spamming one button a few times to make something happen, but that's, I guess Warrior's not the only one. Samurai Maze is just big moves. That's a big prejudice. Yeah, I think tired has become the norm. Oh, it is next. I live under a freaking rock. I need to watch more news. Thank you. This is I don't know what this is. Being a clicker in Final Fantasy XIV. Okay, in my defense, I just wanna emphasize that being a clicker, from my experience in World of Warcraft, is a lot less worse in Final Fantasy than in WoW, because of the cooldowns, because of, you know, the way you can manage your whole screen. So I myself will occasionally click on some of the spells with my mouse hand if my other hand is busy moving. So I kind of think that's fine. I don't know if that's fine, but I should probably work on it. But yeah, I've been looking forward to this.
You're a clicker? Not again. Yes, I click my skills. Abilities? Actions? Oh my god, why is this game so complex?
But how?
I press my finger against the button on my mouse while simultaneously holding my mouse.
How do you have the time to just
button that is on
click
my hotbar that I wish to activate?
All of them.
In other words, I'm a clicker. Yes, I can still play my job well, except for when I don't. That's the I can still do mechanics for most of the time. Everyone has their moments, okay? I can clear Savage and Ultimates, and in fact, when I just played the game, nobody ever questioned whether I keybind or click. Until I started streaming. Listen, alright, I have very petite hands. Keybinding is painful for me. Okay, I don't know if anyone has ever tested the...
I remember one time Bellular made a video on it was like a keybind guide where he was showing like where you could like bind your different things in WoW or whatever, and he was showing like different size of hand, and like the biggest hand was marked as a shovel. That was hilarious. But random.
The hand size and the ability to press certain buttons on the keyboard. But maybe we should! Let's start a research team and look into that. I got a connection. Okay, no! I don't need to justify to you why I click! Why doesn't even matter! I'm perfectly comfortable with the way I'm playing the game right now! I am sick of people commenting about it! It's such a minor thing, it makes no difference! Never did I apply to a static and the leader asked me, yes, everything seems good. I just have one question for you before you join us. Do you keybind or do you click your hotbars? You know what? I have an idea. Let's start a clicker-only static. It's gonna be great. We're gonna get world first, and that way we can prove to everyone that it doesn't matter. Come on, clickers.
Mandarin music is so on point here.
What about an MMO mouse?
Shut up!
That was awesome. Oh my god, my YouTube suggestions. You should never be able to see them. I'm just gonna quietly move away from that. Yeah, I sometimes click. I'm left-handed, and I feel more comfortable just having my left hand on, on keyboard and moving there and just like clicking buttons there with it because it's more responsive. And my mouse is usually, the camera hand where I don't have to be as precise, or I move with my mouse as well. So I use it for that. I don't have to like have some sort of super magic feeling in my right hand to make it work. So I don't know. Do you guys see the same thing? How many left-handed people in the chat? It's their hotkey, but like for healing, I actually have a question. Do you guys use macros in FF? Because I've been actually delaying my my healer journey in FF because I am unsure of whether or not people use macros, and I'm not the most comfortable person with when it comes to macros. Beyond Gaming, welcome back. How are you? Yeah, today we have a movie time, so no spoilers for you. How have you been? What is this? FF14 isn't the game you think it is. I actually don't really know. This person. Actually, I'm gonna subscribe to them. I'm not sure if they have more videos like this, but this video is apparently really good. So we're gonna check it out.
Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay. Let me just adjust the volume. I don't know what's up with me. Since that Zeppelin video, like I was laughing a lot, and my throat just went to garbage. You should consider yourself lucky that you have a thing called weekend. I don't know what that is. Oh, cleared Stormblood. Congratulations. How did you like Stormblood? Shadowbringers, nice. Oh, welcome to Shadowbringers. It's gonna be amazing. I think you should definitely be excited. Lewis, welcome back. How are you doing? Okay, are we ready for this? I don't know this person, so I can't really endorse them, but I saw some people watching this video and really liking it, so I've been wanting to check it out.
Final Fantasy XIV is not the game you think it is. Maybe you're a well-established player, or a former player, or maybe you've been watching from afar as your favorite content creators slowly migrate, making their way through the emotional minefield that is this game's story, desperately yet patiently waiting for them to realize the same thing as you. Game bad.
What?
Megalol. Well, fellow human, this video is for you.
What?
Or just some of you. Or
How
all
could
of
you?
No, let's just watch the video. Okay, before we dive in, let me give you a little bit of context for why I'm making this video. I absolutely love Final Fantasy XIV. I've played through the entirety of the game as of patch 5.55,
this is very considerate,
and I've completed all
like
of the
this.
store core content the game has to offer. I can't stress
I'm
enough
not that careful, unfortunately.
just how emotionally invested I am in the story and its characters.
I miss that guy.
But it wasn't always that way. I tried and quit Final Fantasy XIV 2 times over the last 6 years. I tried once during Heavensward, its first expansion, award-winning and included in the free trial, by the way. And then
I love
again
how we get to see
in
him as well during the
Stormblood,
video.
just before
That's pretty
Shadowbringers launched. Some parts of the game changed, but the reason that I quit was still the same. A Realm Reborn's main f***ing story quest. The combat was adequate, albeit a bit slower than I was used to. Some of the boss fights were honestly pretty awesome, but I just couldn't sit through the endless hours of mandatory text dialogue and cutscenes. I
think the first one was the Riange
on,
speech.
regaling me with tales of primals and beast tribes. My friends would tell me, bro, you just gotta hold out, bro. It gets good, so good, bro. Please, bro, you gotta pay attention, bro. Dude, stop.
How sad is it that it's really like this? Like, I went into FF14 overwhelmingly optimistic about it. And I finished The Realm Reborn, and everybody was just like, well, how did you endure it? Instead of how did you enjoy it? And I was like, it was fine. I liked it. You know, there are a few things that I didn't particularly enjoy, like, you know, the wine quests and whatever, that I didn't really have a reason probably to do at all. But I had it good. I had it real good in Realm Reborn. I met all of you guys. Like, you taught me how to play the freaking game. It was awesome.
I don't have the patience for that. I love stories in games. I'm a huge Dungeons and Dragons nerd. I'm a proper whore for lore. But in the end, I just couldn't stomach it. Or at least I couldn't. Until I could. I decided to give the game another shot in May of the second Umbral era, COVID 2021. And I told myself that since a bunch of my friends had recently started playing, I would give it another shot, seeing as it was free to play up until level 60. I mean, what else could I do with all that free time?
Yeah, where are you gonna go?
And it was cool, I guess. It was nice to be able to connect with all these friends.
Like, now we're allowed to go outside, and I'm running out of excuses to stay inside. I'm just like, you know, people ask me what I'm doing, and I'm like, I'm in quarantine, and everyone's just like, the quarantine ended like a year ago. What are you doing?
Again, but still always in the back of my mind, and in the top left of my screen, it whispered, "Do me." I honestly struggled to do it, and I would spend weeks making no progress while everyone around me soared onwards towards the great beyond, the promised land.
Oh, Heavensward.
But I did not give in. Neck deep in political strife and betrayal did I strive, until before the gates of Ishgard, I came. I had made it, and I was forced to accept an uncomfortable truth. That my friends could be right. And by following the Yellow Box Road, I was growing to love this world.
I was kind of a bit upset when I arrived to Heavensward, and everyone's just like, oh, it's so good, you know, but they failed to mention that, you know, there are still these intro quests that you have to do. And then, like, one of the first Heavensward quest is like, go there and, you know, fix the castle that we, I don't know, didn't have time to fix or something. So you're just going there basically just like stuffing goo into a castle, and you're like, is this what you guys were talking about?
Its characters and its bold storytelling. From there, it wasn't quite smooth sailing, but I at least had come to accept that this game had value beyond the generic staples of MMO design that tickled just the right parts of my monkey mind. I was in. But even then, I honestly had no clue as to the ride I had strapped in for. But that's enough of that. Let's get in to the good shit. The ARR smack talk. I mean, I jest. Partially. A Realm Reborn, even for its time, was curious. It was an MMORPG, a game in a genre not typically known for its quality storytelling. But it was also a Final Fantasy game.
But why?
And anyone who has spent any amount of considerable time playing an entry in the franchise knows that when you boot up, you best hook up that catheter. Look, the games love their cutscenes, and 14 is no different in that regard. That's a hard sell for some people, especially veteran MMO gamers who aren't exactly known for their, let's call it, patience. The presentation holds up pretty well for a game that's almost a decade
calling
old,
out raiders
but the
and
narrative
whatnot.
and script often feel more 1613 than 2013. The dialogue frequently reads like a Shakespearean tragedy, and is bloated by an absolutely absurd amount of self-filleting lore dumps that would make even George R.R. Martin blush. It's fucking rad, but it's not well adjusted to a Tolkien-era audience that probably left 59 seconds into this video because I didn't look like this. Or this. It's too literary for most people, and sometimes
like I am just struggling to understand like just how many people actually go through Final Fantasy 14, but when you ask them what their favorite book is, they tell you they don't read. How do you go through these quests without having a love for story and for books or whatever? Like I'm a huge bookworm, and it's just beyond me that like someone could play this game without a core love for reading.
I caught myself wondering how much my time was being valued. Okay. Before you press enter on that white-hot parasocial-infused comment down below, remember that you are definitely not in a cult, and I promise this is going somewhere. I really do love this game, like, a lot.
Do you know what? I have been asked, well, as an author, I've been asked by some of my fellow authors who my favorite writer is, and who do you think I started mentioning as my favorite writer?
And having played through the entire story as it currently exists, I recognize in retrospect how important all of that stuff was. Truthfully, I am so grateful for the attention to detail in A Realm Reborn's writing, because it provides a rock-solid foundation upon which the more emotionally driven tales can be told. But that doesn't mean it's a good introduction to the game. In fact, I'd go so far as to say it's a poor representation
it doesn't draw
of the game
you
as a
in.
whole. Just to clarify, not bad. Just not a good representation
Not a hook.
of the larger
They don't really
game.
have a hook. But, you know,
Story aside, the gameplay
it, so.
in Final Fantasy XIV is slower than what most people have come to associate with the modern MMO. While the majority of other games in the genre have taken it upon themselves to compete over who can fuck up my wrists the fastest, 14 has, for the most part, maintained its more methodical approach to combat. As you level, you get more skills to add to your rotation, and depending on what job or class you're playing, you might rack up a good number of them that can be used outside of the typical 2.5 second global cooldown window. But getting there takes a lot of time in which most people will have made up their minds about how engaging they feel the game is, mechanically at least. I played a black mage during my time in ARR, and I hated it. If I wanted to cast the same two spells over and over again, giving me more than enough time to contemplate the poor life choices that led me to that point, I'd play something else. Like New World. But as soon as I switched to Red Mage, which essentially allows you to instantly throw out a spell between each hard cast, I was thriving. It's not that Black Mage is bad, and you should feel bad for liking it. The job is actually so highly regarded within the community that pretty much anyone who even claims to play it is appointed the formal title of Giga Chad. But even
I don't even know if I liked Pally when I started, because I started tanking for the first time and I started the job for the first time. So those two colliding themselves in my timeline pretty much means that I never realized whether I hate something because it's a tank or because it's a paladin, or whether I love something because it's a tank or it's a paladin. So my experience is rendered useless.
Then most people will agree that it's just not a good representation of the game's combat up until level 50. There are some other issues with the onboarding process, like the web services being an absolute nightmare to navigate, and the UI being a bit intimidating at first. But I don't really want to talk about those things, because they're boring. So, if you've made it this far, thank you very, very much for bearing with me, especially those of you who, like myself, are massive fans of the game. Not a cult. We've arrived at the part of the video where I try to actually sell this experience, in spite of all those things I've just said. And some things I still have to say. Sorry. Final Fantasy XIV isn't the game you think it is. If you stopped playing in ARR for the same reasons that I did, or are putting off trying it entirely by similar complaints that you've heard, I understand. It is perfectly reasonable to decide that this experience is insurmountable to you. You shouldn't feel like you need to invest upwards of...
Do you know the only thing that I'm sad about is that this person, if I'm not mistaken, he's currently at like 300 and something subs. This video is so good with editing, with, you know, actually selling the game, explaining what the game is like. And it's such a damn shame that sometimes these videos end up overlooked just because of the way the YouTube algorithm sees you. This is a really good video.
50 hours just to get to the good stuff, even if it's free, even if the community
at my
screams that it gets better,
subs, I made
you won't regret it.
The crappiest videos.
That's not enough of an incentive for some people. They need to feel that themselves. However, if it is, you will be graced with one of the most ambitious, epic, and emotionally rich stories that the entirety of gaming has to offer. It has immense scope, weight, and consequences, leaving your heartstrings twisted and disfigured beyond recognition. You see, Final Fantasy isn't one of those games in the genre that you slowly learn to hate more and more because it hurts for you.
I almost read Overlord. It says Lore Lord.
It's one of those games that you learn to love because of how much it continues to hurt your feelings.
Oh my god, I love his videos so much. He's so endearing.
I cried like 5 times.
I cry every time I see him.
Found family, love, loss, guilt, sacrifice, and most importantly, despite all of that, hope. It is one of the grandest adventures that I have ever experienced, and it just keeps getting better. I am legitimately so damn excited to see how the current story, almost a decade in the making, comes to a close. However, if you're anything like me and you struggled to sit through ARR, you really don't have a good sense of any of that. So what changed? Well, for one, the lead writers.
This person is gonna go far.
What we get at the beginning
I don't even know
is
his name,
well-written, albeit
right now,
off-pace tale of political intrigue and subterfuge. There's a lot to praise in the early content, don't get me wrong, but the incredible character moments and plot twists at times feel drowned out by the 15-minute monologues and info dumps. It's meticulously written to a fault. Maybe it's because of the disaster that was the original game, but there are moments that scream of a desperation for validation.
Things are different now. We promise. We're a real fantasy game. Please, come back!
It takes a bit of time to hit its stride. Again, 10-year-old game struggling under the weight of its initial failures. But holy hell, does it have momentum once it does.
It's because people started playing it in 2021 or 2020 or whatever, and that is their timeline. It's not like you can It's the same with like listening to old music videos or whatever. Like you can't but help but feel the cringe like when you watch these old videos and you're like, I can't believe people dance like that, or I can't believe this was, you know, okay to wear or whatever. And people forget that with FF. Everyone's just like, we're playing FF right now, but they forget how old the game actually is and how great it was for that time.
As the game reaches maturity in its later installments, the story moves away from its bookish roots and flourishes into something much more cinematic, an approach that we've become accustomed to in modern gaming. On top of that, it doubles down on the much more accessible approach of telling the majority of the story through the experience of its characters, instead of forcing you to sit through hours of exposition. A Realm Reborn has a bad habit of telling you why something is important, while expansions like Shadowbringers
it doesn't do like show don't tell
to the people you've come to care about.
That's true.
It's a completely different experience.
You
I
get
care
to interpret
a lot more about what
in your
happened
own
to
way.
my second husbando 3 years ago, and how that changed him as a person, than I care about what happened during a war that I wasn't a part of. And I care more about how a lost civilization directly affects a dear friend than how said civilization affected current technology.
Yeah,
Those
same.
things that
That's
I
why
care
didn't
less
like
about
Warring
are
Triad.
still super important. I just
to me, it
don't
was
need the
boring.
game spending a disproportionate amount of time on them. I was so fucking happy to see this change in direction, and I felt it. It was tangible. I am here to tell you, as a former skeptic, that despite all of the legitimate criticisms someone might have of the game, especially regarding ARR, the payoff is immense. I am so grateful for my friends who encouraged me to stick with it.
This video needs to be seen by more people.
What you get is a game that is made with love by developers who are also fans and active players of the game. You get an absolute ton of content, both old and new, that stays impressively relevant and doesn't exist purely as a series of hurdles you need to overcome just to get to the part of the game that everyone's actually playing. That's really unusual for the genre, and it was such a refreshing change of pace. The casual and collector content is vast and varied. There's theme park rides, jumping puzzles.
What brought me into FF14 was a random blog post on Twitter that a husband posted that his wife made, and he wanted to kind of, you know, brag about it and stuff. He posted her guide to like all of the mounts that you can get in game with like their descriptions or whatever, and I was just scrolling through it. And at first I thought I was looking at this, you know, the store mounts, and like where's the poorly colored reskin crap that I was used to, and it just wasn't there. All of it was just in the game, and I knew that I belong here.
Card games, mini games, treasure hunting. The list is so damn long, dude. Oh, and did I mention deeply customizable housing? Yeah, it has that too. On the other end of the spectrum, the super hardcore content is also incredibly well designed and compelling. Estimates claim that less than 4% of characters across all regions of Final Fantasy XIV have cleared the hardest content that the latest expansion has to offer, the Epic of Alexander Ultimate. It might be incredibly tough content, but talk to anybody who's cleared it and they'll tell you that it's fair. There's just so much on offer in this game that it's almost overwhelming. So, my advice for people engaging or re-engaging with 14 is
take care.
It's actually not to rush through the first part of the game just because what comes later is better. I know that some of the things that I've said in this video might suggest that I think that's a good idea. Unless you're just completely uninterested in stories in general, then don't. I think you should take your time. Unlike most other modern MMOs, this is not a race to the finish line. A huge
because
part
everything
of
matters.
FF14's value, at least for somebody like
it's like you arrive into the game and you're like level 16 and you're not going to be looked down on because you're level 16, because you can pretty much do, well, apart from like the MSQ, you can do like more than 50% of the content up until like level, I don't know, 50 or whatever. Just you just have to choose something. Like you can do crafting, you can do gold saucer, you can do pretty much anything.
Me is actually in the journey. And that's not a cop-out. There's plenty to do when you get to that level cap. All of those things I've been complaining about are free. So what's the rush? ARR might be a bit of a slog, yes. But you also get a decent taste of what's to come in Heavensward, which is also included in the trial. Try out different jobs to see what pace of combat best suits you, because it varies a lot between them. Read the story, but go in with the right expectations. Go in with the knowledge that A Realm Reborn lays a solid foundation of lore that the story builds upon, but it's not an accurate representation of the story as a whole. Not even close. A Realm Reborn is, in a lot of ways, a story about a place, while the following expansions are a lot more about its people. When fans of the game take to their socials to rant, rave, and defend the story of 14, they aren't talking about ARR. They are talking about something much grander in scale.
It's not the same game anymore. You can't really see the Realm Reborn and Shadowbringers as the same game. The game itself feels like a, very long relationship in a way. Like A Realm Reborn is how it started, and Shadowbringers is, kind of, well, right now the end of it, but we're gonna get another expansion, so forget that. What I was gonna say is that you get to, progress through it, and thankfully, your Realm Reborn experience isn't directly affecting what you're gonna feel like in, I don't know, Heavensward or Shadowbringers or whatever, because they're just different things. You get to see all of them, but you get to stay where you want to stay. As in, if you want to farm, Shadowbringers content, go ahead. If you want to go back to Heavensward and do side quests there or whatever, you're free to do that. So it's just so different.
That not only builds over the course of the expansions, but also dramatically improves in its delivery over time. 14 is a game that has learned so much and is infinitely better for it. It's a damn shame that you don't get a good sense of that from the get-go. But maybe that will change. Final Fantasy XIV is not what you think it is. It is not the perfect game created by perfect developers like some people would have you believe. But it's also not the fundamentally flawed games that others would have you believe either. Regardless of which side you find yourself leaning more towards, I can tell you one thing absolutely.
The content that you've never,
Final Fantasy XIV is not A Realm Reborn.
That's true.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's the video, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate both your time and your attention.
That was a great video.
Please hit that like button, because this is a new style of content for me. So it really lets me know that this is the kind of thing that you would like to see in the future.
Okay, if you guys have a heart,
please tell me why.
If you have a heart, just go to this channel and subscribe, because that means that we're gonna get better and more of these videos. His name is, I don't know how to read it, Hackett. Please do subscribe. I don't normally sell someone like this on stream, but I really love this video, so you should definitely do it. Thank you for the video. That was great. That was awesome, and I loved the whole video. Oh, there's a little bit more.
Feedback is really important moving forward, so it's cool. If you decide you would like to see more from me, then you can maybe hit that subscribe button so you know when my future videos go live.
Definitely.
Even that notification bell too to know more immediately. Otherwise, you can find me live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Hackett. We're pretty chill. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, I should have waited with pronunciation, because he solved it for me. Yeah, I will post it in the chat. This is a really good video, and what I'm gonna do is I'll just give you the link to this video. I think, well, that will take you straight to the channel. I actually am in love with it, with the way he edited the video and the way he, you know, put a lot of effort. So this video is doing really well. It has like 21K views with his 300 and something subs. Like, I love supporting someone who's, you know, on that journey, because it means a lot. Like when you just, you know, when you're trying to do something new and when you're doing such a good job, you actually deserved to just be a little praised for that. Anyway, I missed a lot of messages in the chat. Let me see where I'm at. In the 80s, there are pictures of shirts and super long tube socks with the stripes at the top. I know about regret. That's hilarious. My viewer started a YouTube channel. It has 13 subs. He did a craft guide to DPS reaction. Yeah, exactly. Okay, reaction videos are the kind of videos who will almost always end up performing really, really well, because YouTube algorithm kind of, you know, feeds off the reaction videos. So those are the exception, I think. But these videos where a person is just stating their opinion and not really kind of, you know, tagging along to any other videos, that one can do a bit more poorly. This video, even at 31K views that we just watched, I think it still has very few views when it comes to the quality of it. This is a bit of a longer video, so I missed some of the messages. If I didn't say hi to someone, I'm sorry. Oh, Victor, how do you, like, I know we already talked about it, and I know that you said that you were struggling like with reading and stuff. Are you kind of, you know, easing yourself into it? Is it getting better? How does that even work? I don't want to be inconsiderate or anything. I'm just genuinely curious. Let's see. I don't know if I missed any of the other messages. Level 15, you unlock gold saucer, so 80% of the game is unlocked. Exactly. That is the end game. And beyond, I'm glad that you're trying crafting. You should definitely do it. I don't know how I got you into it. I haven't even leveled up my crafters, but I'm having fun with it. I guess that matters. I do love it. 91 was a good year. Metallica, Black Album, Pearl Jam 10 is your illusion. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Soundgarden, and Nirvana. I actually, yeah, I wasn't even born then. Too bad. Those are all good ones. Buys levels and story skip, doesn't understand anything that's going on, calls it bad. I mean, it takes time to understand FF, but once you're through with it, you are going to love it. Also, Luneth, if you're still here, have a great day. Thank you for joining us today, and yeah, see you later. What else? What else did I miss? Oh, right. Oh, was it you that suggested it on the channel? Cupcake. I mean, it's huge. From going from 3K to 30K is huge, but still, I think the video deserves a lot more. Oh yeah, when I was doing the raid, I wasn't even really focused on you know, just talking about it, but I'm glad that I managed to translate some of that energy. Oh, this is so cute. This is a minion, right? I've never seen this minion. This is so adorable. This is so cute. Is this how do you get that minion? This is the minion is so cute. One of Julia Chai. I don't know how to get it, but now I know I'm gonna have to have it. So any tips? September 21, she's about, yeah, she has amazing videos. Like, there are different roads that you can take on YouTube. You can either, you know, just like spend a lot of time editing and doing quality videos and not upload as many of them, or you can upload and stream a lot, and both have their perks and their bad things. It just depends on how much time you can dedicate to it, where you are in the timeline and stuff. And I think she's really nailing that road where she takes a little bit of time, creates a really good video, and then it just blows up. They're amazing. I'll be right back, and then we'll continue. Okay, I am back. Big into YouTubers. What's your I actually only recently started watching them. I like people who give me useful content, regardless of whether they're VTubers or not. And I don't spend a lot of time on Twitch, but I do have notifications turned on to a few streamers who, when I see that they're streaming on Twitch and I have a lot of time, I will go and watch them because they were useful to me at some point. So I watched Kyoko Star, who does the fashion reports and whatnot, regardless of whether they're streaming like Final Fantasy or something else or whatever. I really do enjoy those streams, and that's a VTube channel, and I don't particularly care. I just like whoever has a nice voice, I will listen to them. I don't necessarily have to look at them. So yeah, there are different videos that or different content creators that I will definitely endorse, but not because they're VTubers or they're not. I actually have not seen the news and all the hype about the Golden Joystick Awards, and I usually watch Quasi's videos when I want to learn more about these things. So yeah, I will. I wanna watch this thing because
Final Fantasy XIV has just.
I kind of missed out on all the hype on it, and yeah, we love Quasi here. I hope you do too. All right, let's hear the news. He is so great. I love his videos.
Final Fantasy XIV has just won the Golden Joystick Award for Best Game
Congrats.
Community and Still Playing Awards. For the Still Playing Award, it recognizes longevity of a game title, and Final Fantasy XIV beat other strong, long-lasting franchises like Call of Duty, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto Online, Rocket League by a huge margin of at least 22%. And keep in mind, this award comes just before the launch of Final Fantasy XIV's biggest expansion.
Okay, I just want to pause a second to see what that near dress looks like on Lalafell. I thought it would be disappointing, but I am not disappointed. That is cute and wholesome, and I can totally see it working out. Anyway.
In the form of Endwalker, it is truly something worth taking a pause to celebrate for. A Realm Reborn launched more than 8 years ago, and the game's popularity is arguably at its peak right now. Here's to many, many more years of this great game. And if you thought that was it, Final Fantasy XIV also took home the Best Game Community Award. And likewise, Final Fantasy XIV won by a huge margin of at least 26% of the votes, beating other titles with passionate communities such as Magic the Gathering, Monster Hunter, and Destiny. A very tired but proud Yoshi P sporting a Warrior of Light t-shirt was there to receive the awards virtually. Final Fantasy XIV has won awards before, but I would imagine this is an especially proud moment for him as we go into Endwalker launch week. Out of the two awards, I definitely feel a lot more for the Best Game Community Award. The very first time I felt that something was different about the Final Fantasy XIV community was actually on my first day of playing Final Fantasy XIV. I started off in Ul'dah, and I vividly remember someone that day was playing Melodies of Life as a bard, performing in the streets of Ul'dah. And as I walked past,
Same. I remember I was like level, I don't know, I was like level 10 or something, and I was making some videos, I think that I was still finishing up for WoW, and someone was standing in Ul'dah and playing a crazy good song, and then they moved on to even some popular songs and whatnot, and we were all just kind of standing there. And I was sitting there just looking at all these people enjoying it, and we were all sprouts, and that badass bard was just there playing for us. And I think that's one of the moments when I got really hooked.
Really honestly couldn't believe like someone is actually playing music in the game, like a public performance. And what's more crazy is there's a bunch of people sitting around the guy listening to, you know, the person perform. And there were people cheering, they had light sticks out, and I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, the concert in Gridania, I remember going there with you.
Obviously my mind was on the MSQ, so I didn't really think too much about it. But over the months, I've come to learn so much about the community. This is the very same community that welcomed me so warmly into Final Fantasy XIV. I remember starting off as a sprout, just minding my own business. I uploaded my very first playthrough onto this channel, and there was a huge outpour of encouragement, support, and guidance in the comment section on how to best enjoy the game, and it's not like something I've ever seen before. Potato-chan was so well taken care of every step of the way.
Yeah, about what you said, that the Bard songs or videos or whatever, yeah, that they will land you a copyright strike. They won't, because they just end up as claiming videos. And they get demonetized, so this is not a monetized video, but because of, well, all the stuff that I watched, but you don't get striked because you didn't re-upload it. So that's the difference. You can have as many of these copyright claims on your channel as you want, but strikes you can only have a few.
I was told the best side quests to do, the places I had to stop by to take screenshots of. I was told the best sequence to do optional content to enjoy the storyline better.
That's
and
what you guys did for me
advice really
as well.
enhanced my Final Fantasy XIV experience. One of my most vivid memories of me interacting with the community is actually the Praetorium. I remember there were 2 to 3 veterans on my friends list who was just standing there at the gates before I queued Praetorium. And they were just waiting for me. I was really puzzled because I'd been queuing for most of the stuff solo in A Realm Reborn, be it trials or dungeons. But later I learned that they wanted to do Praetorium with me just to ensure I wouldn't get lost in that place as a newbie, and to ensure that the filming of the Praetorium episode will go smoothly. And that was mind-boggling to me because a Praetorium run is arguably the longest run a veteran can do for a daily instance, yet these folks are volunteering to guide me through the entire experience for nothing in return. I also remember all the dungeons I went through. Not once was I yelled at as a tank for taking my own sweet time to watch all the cutscenes and transitions as a sprout. The amount of empathy and patience this community generally has is pretty overwhelming. And you can see that in all my playthroughs, how encouraging people are in dungeons towards Potato-chan. My most memorable moments of the MSQs though, aside from the obvious peaks in the storyline, is my crazy community surprising me at certain turning points of the story. I remember a warm surprise welcome to Kugane, Azizla, Crystarium when I first arrived, and mind you, I did not stream my MSQs, which meant that they painstakingly tracked my progress via the friends list to make these happen, and it was such a heartwarming gesture that I'm eternally grateful for those wonderful memories until this very day. As my community grew larger, we started doing alliance raids together on weekends. Crystal Tower, Void Ark, you name it. As someone enjoying the story, I would take my time to read through the dialogues and quests, sometimes taking 1 to 2 hours between the different tiers of the raid to unlock the next tier of the raid.
Yeah, I love how you guys told me that, like, when I do, what was it, twinning and then the Academia dungeon, that I should read through these notes. And I don't exactly remember who it was with me in the group, but we didn't have enough people for the dungeon. And then we went to Limsa and asked if someone would go with us. And then eventually we formed a party group and said that that's going to be a note reading party group. And people actually, you know, joined us, and they were like, "I'm here for the music. Take your sweet time, even though you're a tank." And I was like, "Why? Let's go read them."
And these 23 to 24 people would just relax in game, take crazy photos with various mounts and minions out, visit one another's houses, just simply hanging out in the game and having a good time while waiting. And I actually felt really embarrassed for making them wait for so long while I get those dialogues and raids unlocked. So to those who are around and watching this video, I really like to thank you for being so ever patient with me. It was such a joy to raid with you. Speaking about raiding, when I first started to learn how to raid in the game, you might easily think that, oh, you are a streamer, tons of people would love to be on your stream and help you for a moment of fame. But on the contrary, I actually did many raids and runs that were not even streamed or posted to YouTube. And yet I have so many friends willing to come along to show me the ropes on how to raid, what is snapshotting, how to min-max, and they did so just out of...
Yeah, that's exactly it. The community is raising you to be a good member of the community. You literally feel raised and groomed to be nice to others. It's crazy.
Love for the game, and wanting to ensure that new community members like myself enjoy their experience. I definitely owe my thorough enjoyment of the game to these unsung heroes, and it's crazy they will become such close friends. We hang out outside of the game playing other casual games and watching silly videos together. It's amazing how this game brings people from different backgrounds together. Now before you say that I'm biased, let me just also make it clear, just like any other gaming community, there are also some bad apples in the fruit basket. I also had my share of bad interactions with certain people in the community that was really negative. For example, if you guys didn't know, I've been criticized before for enjoying A Realm Reborn too much. I've also been criticized for having some really wild theories and predictions from just watching the Shadowbringers trailer for the first time. And you know, as a human being, it's very easy to say you look at the negative comments and you let that shape your perspective of what you think the community is truly like. Because I think as humans, you tend to give a bit more weightage towards the negative experiences. Those tend to register more deeply in your mind versus say the everyday positive experiences you get. But again, every single online game has toxic people in the community. But I think most will agree if you look at it holistically, Final Fantasy XIV offers a community unlike any other. Fast forward to today, about 4 to 5 months after I beat the MSQs, it's still amazing to see on a daily basis when I wake up and check my phone, the community that is discussing everything Final Fantasy XIV related so passionately on my Discord channel. I see people discussing lore, Endwalker predictions, posting pictures of their glamour and houses, and I just think to myself, this game is pretty darn incredible to bring so many people from all over the world together, which I think is very needed in these times of COVID where we...
I love what's so interesting to me is that you can, for the most part, have these FCs where people will love to do different things, but they will still either gather for some unique piece of content to do together and still be happy, and then everyone goes their own way, or you know, goes with someone else or whatever. In WoW, it's not like that. If you have a raiding guild, you don't ever apply to a raiding guild if you're not going to raid, if you're not going to show up there like twice a week, 3 times a week or whatever and do that. If you're a PvP guild, there's no such thing as, you know, going and running like Mythic Plus dungeons or anything like that. They're very content focused. They're not friends focused. Even though, yes, you can make friends based on what you like the same kind of content, but I don't like limiting myself to the kind of content that I like based on, and based on that, just make friends. So it's just nice to be able to be a friend with someone who's a raider, to someone who, you know, enjoys PvP, to someone who does glamour, who does RP, who does, you know, any of these things. It's just so good.
We all experience in our own lives, one way or another, what loneliness truly means. So to the broader Final Fantasy XIV community out there, a big congratulations, this is our win. Best Community and Still Playing Awards are a reflection of how far this game have come along, and it's a personal regret I've not started playing this game earlier, but I'm looking forward to many more wonderful memories in the road ahead as we step into Endwalker. I can't believe we are into single-digit countdown territory now for Endwalker, and I'll definitely try and keep the good times coming on this channel with more videos, so make sure to hit the subscribe button right here if you don't want to miss them. If you enjoyed this video about the Final Fantasy XIV community, this video might interest you. It's about how someone really close to me has come to love the game, despite not playing the game at all. Big shout out to my Patreon subscribers, thanks for keeping the channel alive. Thanks so much for watching the video, have a great day, I'll see you soon. Final Fantasy...
That was a good video. That was really good, and huge congrats to all of us for being awesome. 7 days. Yeah, 7 days is insane. Is so crazy. This is gonna be a bit of a longer one. So if Battler is your cup of tea, you will enjoy it. Even if he's not, maybe you're interested in hearing well, someone's experience who went through Stormblood. I actually got a little bit of a spoiler for this video. Not really a spoiler, but I do know that he has a different perspective to many people who actually played through Stormblood. And as a person who really liked Stormblood, I loved Stormblood. I think I want to see it and see if there are any close points to this one. I think about the free, maybe you don't want to get it on Friday, after all, because the queue is gonna be so bad that maybe, I don't know, maybe it would be better to just like enjoy it on the weekend or something. Let's check this out.
The Stormblood patch MSQ is such an improvement. Videos. It's insane. And no, this is not me just swiping in and saying, hey,
love the classic
most improved reward. No, it is genuinely fantastic. The dungeons, the trials, the narrative, all of the great work here, no doubt is purchased at the cost of more slow, expansive pacing in 4.0 and just the issues that it has with its split focus. But thankfully, with all of these pieces set up on the board, they have been able to do marvelous things.
Like, if you enjoy political setups, if you enjoy, seeing like the liberation stories and rebuilds, you're gonna love Stormblood. There's no way for you not to.
Talk about today. And also, The Pale Beyond, our video game. It is a single-player narrative RPG. It is developed by us, published by Fellow Traveler, and you can check it out on Steam if you want some of that fun, frosty business, and, big choice-based narrative. Check it out. Without further ado, let's go, though, and talk about Stormblood. 4.1. What a great patch. I mean, yeah, you know what? I liked how they just snapped us over to a more relaxed traditional adventure with the treasure hunt at the start. Yeah. That was actually really good fun. And it was a nice way to bring us closer to Arnvald. Now, when the patch really kicks off, though, that's when it gets super fantastic. All of the Nanamo and Rauban work is just kind of beautiful. Actually, you feel it, right? And that's because of setup. Because that's something they began with the start of the game.
I really enjoyed
at the end of ARR and had a lot of time put into it during the ARR patch MSQ. Of course, it continued through to Heavensward and its patch MSQ as well. So this commitment to telling a tale so consistently, it just pays dividends. Because by the end, the level of satisfaction that you get in these two characters, they're almost anachronistic, they're so different, but it's just so satisfying at the end. The scenes.
Like, I'm not going to even talk about Shadowbringers here, because we all know Shadowbringers is amazing when it comes to, seeing those characters kind of, grow into their, shoes that they were always meant to fill or whatever. But I just think that Stormblood really nailed it in the post patches. When you see how some characters changed and grew through the story, and like seeing them develop themselves, it's just so insane.
The music, the Starry Night, I just love how they have confidence in their characters. Enough confidence to just let us spend time with their characters. Like with the Nanamo talking quests.
So sad.
You're just going around having a chat with Nanamo as, well, really, she sees a bit more of her land. But through that, you really see her grow and learn. Confront Lolorito and learn more about her. I think many's an MMO would look at this kind of storyline and say, it's not action, doesn't involve slaying quest markers, this would be boring to our players. And no, it isn't.
No.
We actually care about these characters. We like these characters. The writing and all of that is good enough that we are content to see their story. Especially helps because our character really is a part of their story. We are so linked together. And it's because of all of this commitment and character that whenever Lakshmi is summoned, you're just there, you want to protect Roban. And it's as simple as that. And it's why the core of just the end
that
of
was
this patch
such a good
so much.
duty.
It wasn't the action as cool as it was.
I usually don't like them, but this setup
really cool
from this like
incredible. I mean, you can just feel
what was it conversation you were supposed to have.
It's
how
that it is just so
nuts it went.
cathartic to see
so
his
good.
journey unfold. So bravo to that. And as for Alamigo, more great plot and a little bit predictable with the twist, but it was a brilliant one and it was a lot of fun. There was a lot at stake. Lakshmi, also, I mean, near perfect. I think she's a really, really fun primal. Of course, we all, you know, it's that thing where you're suspicious of what's going on, but they manage to have the character dupe you all the same with some Lakshmi. I guess that just worked out quite well. And it's impressive how much they keep on landing these little narrative surprises that, in retrospect, really shouldn't be surprising.
This was really cool. I loved the cutscene.
The specifics of how they unfold is
one
surprising,
of the best ones
even though you kind of know something's going to happen. And that Judy at the end, it was bloody brilliant. The core fight, I think, was good. It was quite engaging. Bringing in the echo was great. All the Fordola character work finally coming in here was really, really great.
Like
and
the way
there's just a
she
neat
grew
trick from the writers, you know, where
story.
they ask the player if you think her crimes are worthy of execution. And it would seem that by the laws of the land, in this sort of place, yeah, they are. But of course, immediately she is the one that ends up saving us, and in a believable way for her character.
And we didn't kill her along the way, which
Another
was
thing I really
a huge
liked about
PogChamp.
was the NPCs got a bit more smart. I think, is it trusts or something? The future system in Shadow, where like the NPCs can help you out in dungeons or something, but it seems like a very early version of that. And it really did make it feel like I was kind of fighting with Arnvold and co. It was really cool. Then as for Lise, people say they really hate Lise. And I totally get finding Lise to be quite annoying during the 4.0
I don't like her.
Some of her things are a bit repetitious, a little bit on the nose. I get that.
To me, it was just so annoying how every single time you go somewhere and you meet someone new, she just says something dumb that just makes you want to burrow your face in your hands and be just like, please shut up. Just never say anything to these people again and just let us handle it, because she's so inconsiderate. It's driving me nuts.
I would say that at this stage, I think that both her and Nanamo growing into leadership was handled quite well.
But to each their own, of course.
So all this meant that 4.1 was a real big, just satisfying conclusion to the Alamigo plot thus far. I'll certainly say I would have liked to have seen more of
Alamigo. What I didn't like about Lise is that she offended everyone in her path. And it wasn't even on purpose.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty damn good. Oh, of course, you know, there's a bit more to come. But first, we have to talk about 4.2 and 4.3.
Those are fantastic.
Well, right, we all love over-the-top classic villains, don't we? I mean, there's something about them that is just so much fun. And Asahi may not have the most depth in the world. He is an irredeemable, kinslaying bastard who wants nothing more than basically his master's bathwater. I mean, he's such a thirsty boy for Xenos. And characters like him are risky, because they can be boring, right? But not so much here. And it's not because he's unpredictable. I mean, he does have a really great plan that's fun to follow. It's one of those classic ones where we know he's up to something, but we can't exactly pin exactly what he is going to do. So you're still asking questions right up until it all goes down. But it all just works with him because he's just so much fun. Real bastardy way. They show restraint with him right up to the very end of 4.2, right?
I was so confused up until the end of this scene. I think Cupcake, I think you said like you're gonna love him. and that whole time throughout the quest scene, I was just like, am I gonna love this guy? Am I gonna hate this guy? And then I kind of ease into, you know, believing what he says and, you know, being like, okay, you know, he's not like the rest of the people from his stupid empire and we're gonna work together. And then we get to this point and I just freak out. It was so annoying that I got tricked.
Where, you know, you spend all of that time being like, this is too good to be true. I don't really believe these popularities. What's exactly going on here? And then he finally has his mask off moment. I mean, I think we all remember the mask off moment at the end of 4.2.
That was...
And I love how, even though the in-game models are so
limited
compared to, say, a cinematic, grade model that would have a whole bunch of custom work, but even just the way they move the camera, the way they have his face, even with that more simple model,
so
you do feel a little bit of the, he is actually legitimately crazy and probably in a way where he could actually hurt me. You get that feeling.
I was so scared doing this quest.
Of course, we have the return of Yotsuru and Gosetsu. And what a return it is. Because bereft of memory and returned to this childlike state, we see a version of really what she could have been.
How could you not love this?
Not tormented by her brother, by her parents. And I think it's exactly what she needed as a character. It's funny with her. I found, like, there's a few kind of surface level similarities to, like, Avatar's Azula, right? But there's that difference where Yotsuru is never really anywhere close to as powerful as Azula is, so she has to be handled in a very different way. You sort of understand they've both had a pretty fucked up childhood that's led them to be the way that they are. But, Yotsuru is never really as dangerous as, like, an Azula-type character. So the only way she can really manifest coping with her trauma is ordering...
I loved, like how in one of the previous videos we talked about, they talked about how Final Fantasy shifted from, tell and not show. I think this was one of the key moments for me, like in the plot, where I felt through YouTube comments, through talking to you guys, how it's a really kind of a show don't tell, because so many people have so many different theories about Lise, about Yotsu, especially about Yotsu. Like the amount of discussion you can actually have about these characters is what's making this expansion great, and every single one after that. It's just, you can talk for ages about the complexity of it, and it's just so good.
To do the horrible things, and I think that stripped of that, the tragedy of her character, when you see her in that more raw sort of, maybe a bit more close to how she'd sort of, come out of the oven, it does make the tragedy of her character a lot more clear and in a way that you can feel.
Also dress
because of Gosetsu. Because, well, we all kind of know why he needs her as well in his state, given his own past. It's a very unlikely pairing, but it's one that is very positive. And it's one that's a great way to have our cast of characters grapple a little bit with morality. And, well, how much does somebody's, choices define them? The whole thing about, the sin being erased along with their memory is just all really good narrative work, isn't it?
And what's impressive to me is that they set the relationship between Gosetsu and Yotsu in a way that you can just speculate for days, like what it was actually supposed to be meaning. Is she like a lost child? Is she someone who he felt strong for in some other way? Or was it just like kind of an unexplained kindness and love that developed between them that you can't really fit into any of the categories because the story is just messed up but good?
And then, as it is expressed through gameplay, I mean, later on, the primal fight, I mean, could any of us forget that intermission phase? Like, no. Now, of course, Asahi is essentially an evil twat, sacrificing his own parents to draw the old Yotsuru out, orchestrating the summoning of a primal via her, one that, of course, he can then conveniently blame on the Domans, thus ending the peace treaty that he orchestrated, paving the way for a just war, and ruining the plan of the Populares. So it's all done quite nicely, isn't it? Yeah. It is a neat plan, and as a fight, it's one of the best primals yet. Again, that intermission phase. It could have nothing else but that intermission phase, and, I mean, it would still be stellar. Now, look, at the end, at least she got a taste of what could have been, right? At least she felt like somebody kind of would care for her. Because through all of that hate, it's Gosetsu defending her as she fell to the primal in the intermission phase. It is such a strong moment. It's a strong moment on the character level.
It
also
was
experientially.
To me, it was so sad for him.
The effects,
like,
the
okay, she died, but he was
just
like, he was the one who was left behind. He was the one who had to face her loss and just continue on with his life, knowing that, you know, he got a chance at family and lost it. She was, your own life kind of ending is of course tragic, but like what if with all the others who love you and who care for you? I think her story wouldn't be half as good if she didn't have these moments with Kozetsu, because we care about him and we don't want him to be unhappy. And then when he just is completely devastated, it's just, you really feel that pain, and it was just too much.
It is what makes a boss fight truly memorable and engaging. Just incredible. Now, obviously, throughout all of this, the big man himself, Xenos, is looming large. And, man, as we go into 4.4 and 4.5, things get strange. So, Alphino is gone, going to Garlemald to try and work with the Populares to do good work.
Crazy ass man.
Work out the issues of the summoning that's going on. Xenos, obviously, we find out, is back, and the Scions are in for a beating. And that means that 4.4, 4.5, and I guess 4.5.6, they are something. I mean, to kick it off, we actually play as Alphino in a duty. That was really cool. His whole involvement, too, was great. I mean, there's nothing like a twin in peril to make the other one come out of their shell and pull our heartstrings. And
I remember that I was so confused that I had to play as him, that I never played like a summoner or anything like that, and I didn't know I was supposed to stand like in proximity to my pet, and I just kept like dying and not doing damage. It was bad.
Every time they've done that, it's bloody worked, hasn't it? These two patches are... They're all about the possibility of being invaded, and more importantly, the why of it. You know, the Garleans are evil is no surprise, but that they're actually an Ascian puppet empire ruled by the Ascian animated clones of the first emperor. I mean, that is quite something. Then Xenos, you know, finding out he's almost certainly an Ascian, probably Elidibus as well. I mean, that's all quite, you know, quite a big thing, isn't it? It's all very engaging.
Just you wait.
What follows with these is just a duo of patches that's fantastic. I mean, a hint at Alag is fun, you know, as it goes back to Azizlai, and especially when you tie that into the Azim Steppe lore.
Yeah.
Certainly a tricky one to do whenever you're rooting the very spiritual beliefs of a group of people that you care about into something that's a bit more technologically oriented, but I felt they actually did manage to pull it off.
I think they've pulled it off amazingly.
Step, I mean, it was so much fun in 4.4. That Judy was just great.
I think that's around the time when I switched to Aura and never looked back.
But it did build to the Nadam, which was immense. And once more in this patch, they have nailed doing a Judy in the Azim Steppe. I mean, just fighting those characters is so much fun. The fight with her, when you're playing as your own character, is just great. I love how you beat her up, she gets back up again. She's having, like, the voice actor is having so much fun.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you know,
the
it flips over, you're controlling
having the time of her life
as well. That's a load of fun. I mean, I'll definitely say that any of the times where you control, like, one of the Scions, or
I started as a Rogadin.
Later on,
female Rogadin.
I wish they were a little more complex in their gameplay. I get why they did go simple, and at least for the fantasy, just controlling those characters and seeing their, you know, their little scenes play out, it does work for the story and it's engaging. I mean, also, I'll never get tired of Magnai being turned down.
The little son.
He's quite pathetic and it's kind of funny.
That's true.
As we hit the end of 4.4, one thing came to mind for me. It was Matt talking about his research into Yoshida Uncensored. Specifically, Yoshi P's love of mystery novels. Of course, in and around now is when patch 3.4 is coming back to my mind, and I'm just kind of thinking, Warrior of Darkness, Shadowbringers, how the hell is this going to happen? And then, of course, there's this sense of doom happening as each Scion soul ends up getting ripped from their body, and you're trying...
This was so messed up for me. This whole situation where you're, like, called and they're, like, falling one by one by one. You have no idea where you're going. And I remember having that little bit of anxiety at the end of Stormblood. You know, how everything is just being set up. No spoilers, of course. How you don't know what's happening, and like everything is on fire, right? Absolutely everything around you is on fire, and there's that heavy feeling of, like, I remember I was actually so stressed the last Stormblood patches, the last patch actually. I was so stressed and so overwhelmed and so panicky, and I was like, I can't believe this is happening. What are we gonna do? Like, it was so hard.
Trying to work out, well, who is this guy telling me to throw wide the gates? How would I even throw wide the gates if I wanted to? I mean, I love a mystery. FF14 keeps them coming. And even as the showdown with Emperor Varus happens, and you just realize how deep the Ascian problem is, you're just, again, thinking back to 3.4. What happens when light takes full control and basically, you know, a sun-bleached world with no life on it. And then
I wasn't even aware that Matt had a playthrough on any of the platforms. I actually don't know if he makes content. Does he make content?
And of course, we hear that these Ascians are trying to preserve the balance. I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? Because if they want to summon back Lord Zodiark or something, I mean, that sounds like it's tipping into shadow, not exactly balanced. So what is going on? Or maybe are they just trying to balance the scales such that it only takes a tiny bit of weight to tip them over? I guess, maybe. These are all mysteries I'm pretty keen to find out.
The 80s are calling their shoulders back.
Story,
for sure.
But never mind that for now, because it's time for War. War as told through a dungeon.
Oh no, I know he played through. I just don't know if his actual playthrough is online somewhere.
And you know, in this game so far, I've liked the dungeons.
I would have loved it. He has great insight.
But often I've preferred the duties, the narrative duties, when it comes to telling the story of the game. And I mean, I think that's obvious enough, really, just because in the duties you tend to be questing with your cast of characters more. And what I loved with this dungeon is they actually blended them together, because I was there doing a 4-player dungeon, but the other characters were there, right? I just thought it was really cool.
It was so cool.
They made it feel like a war. This felt like a war zone or whatever, more so than any MMO dungeon that I've played. You're right there on the battlefield, and I mean, I love how so much of the fighting in this game, it ends up feeling a bit more like fantasy when it's Eorzea at time, right? Because it's Eorzea, everyone uses magic. Of course, the Guardians are not able to use magic, so they're using Magitech.
You have to fight them with your hands.
It almost feels like this sort of, I don't know exactly how to say it, but that dungeon reminds you of like some super stylized World War I scenes, doesn't it? Like with the big trenches, the machine gun fire, you know, just the stark red and black. I just thought it was a really evocative dungeon. Now, I can't say what it was like for endgame players at the time playing through it. All I can say is it was remarkable experientially how much this dungeon felt like the Shadowbringers trailer.
When it comes to the Shadowhunter, I think I had a hunch, but I don't know if I said it out loud. I knew because of the masks, like the moment we saw that cutscene, I think that's when I knew. But he didn't even show up before that. We didn't have any sort of reveal before that moment, I think.
And then for me, I really did find that each boss was super
I recognized the mask, but
didn't help that it was
much apart from that.
Super late, and I had basically, you know, for some back pain, popped a little bit of a painkiller that honestly just made me a little bit, which maybe added to the experience. But suffice to say, I was bloody immersed when I was doing that. So one epic dungeon later, and it's almost over. Only 2 quests to the damn finish. And what a finish it was. Every time the game says, sit down, we have got cinematics for you,
I love that.
Kind of go, oh shit.
I have this compulsive need to just get a lot of food when they say that. Like, I normally don't like eat or chew loudly or on stream or anything like that, but like it's like I have this like drive to eat when that happens. It's similar to getting in a car or, you know, a long bus ride or something. I'm the person who will always eat something first just because that's a place where you eat, and that's the same kind of feeling that these cutscenes are giving me.
And yeah, that happens. Because, of course, you get your cinematics, and then you get your showdown with Xenos. Probably Elidibus, of course. And in that, the way they do it is so cool. Because using the role-playing duty, you're controlling Lord Hien at the start. And it was nice to see those characters together fighting. And the Warrior of Light not being there.
Yeah.
Right? And even with
it's like you're late.
He had like a little bit more to him in mechanics.
And
at least
he's
charge,
waiting for
so
you.
you could satisfyingly, charge back in.
You know that you're somewhere out there and can't do anything about it.
Very simple, but also insane. Quite fun and enjoyable because they're quite movement based. So I actually enjoyed that part. And you get this sort of looming sense of, oh shit, because, well, you have a little timer being like, Warrior of Light, it'll take her this long to get there. It makes your character feel powerful, and it also sells the peril of the actual character.
I felt so angry at my character.
And then you get into the solo fight with Xenos, and it's just really fun. And I just want to say, I love how willing they are to give us real fights in duties. Now, I'd like to see what some of these would be in a super hard mode, something like that. Or almost like if you can make a solo trial version of one of these, like maybe that could be an interesting thing. But
nope.
Look, it sure does beat what I'm used to in WoW, which is I get to the end of a Covenant campaign thingy, and I just pop all my cooldowns, and the little mini-boss dies in like a few seconds. I got a proper fight with Xenos, and even if I wasn't in the most peril all the time, I was having to move away from his attack patterns. He didn't just have random, 3 attacks he threw out. They came in patterns, and you sort of felt like you had to deal with them. So I thought it was really strong.
On the other hand, that solo progress is fun.
Oh, I can't wait to start Shadowbringers. I mean, Estinian saved my ass. Estinian, of course, did appear during the Stormblood MSQ as well, so he's a cool fella.
I love how Catgirl eyes go so wide.
Of course, meeting Count Edmund. Lovely touch. Again, there is... there's just a sense of, I don't know, safety or something you get with that character because of the Heavensward time you spent together.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly, it's going to be bloody hard to call what's going to happen next. I mean, I know a calamity is looming. I know I'm apparently supposed to throw wide the gates. But right now, all my friends' souls are lost. The Garleans still have the overall upper hand, it would seem. But for some reason, Varys and Xenos, well, Elidibizenos, whatever we're going to call them, they've been, they're back at Garlemald, right? So what's going on there? I mean, it's a bloody good thing that this patch originally came out only a few months before Shadowbringers. And that in itself is a fascinating thing to me as well. I'm so used to a, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 month gap between final patch and new expansion. I think it's really cool here how, they're...
Look at that.
Spread them out more, but...
This is what we lived through. Well, for those of you who don't know, look at that. Look at this dumpster fire. This is if you didn't know why people left. This is why. Look at the amount of the opening patches and the amount of patches, like how they were prolonging like pretty much year after year, like since Legion. Like look at BFA, look at well now Shadowlands. Everything is just on fire.
I think it's really cool here how. Maybe they just
these are
spread
days,
them out more,
like 250 days
it's like a big
of one patch.
Again and again and again. I think that's just a strong thing for keeping you invested. I mean, even out a few months, it must have been.
And no gold saucer in the game.
And then there's the real Xenos, who's seemingly possessed a resistance fighter or something. So we have double Xenos action. I mean, there's Xenos' original body being controlled by
I didn't
Elidibus,
catch
maybe?
that at all. I was so annoyed.
Also, there's Xenos, who's perhaps.
He knew, like, straight away. I felt so dumb.
Yoink the brain of a resistance fighter or something? I think I need Shadowbringers to start right the hell now. Okay, 1 or 2 other things then. The dungeons, I just want to again say, I can really feel the quality of these dungeons go up. I mean, I remember first it was the Hraesvelgr, the Hraesvelgr dungeon, where you're sort of...
I like how no one knows how to say Hraesvelgr. I say it wrong. Before, and everyone just says it wrong.
That was a pretty damn cool dungeon. But as I've got to these, I mean, just the boss design feels really tight. And that's something I've noticed through, cool. Through Stormblood. I think the boss design's getting really, really, really good. So like they're really solid. And I'm really seeing what Matt was getting at when he was praising the fight design and all of that to me. Then as well, the
I wonder if Matt
really strong.
actually accidentally spoiled anything
Shadowbringers is able to use those
him
as well
that could
as,
affect his Shadowbringers experience.
And when I mix all those things together and I think about what I've now learned about Endwalker, it seems that in Endwalker we're actually doing dungeons like with the Scions, like some massively upgraded version of the trust system. So the idea that I can have that dungeon experience, but actually narrative moments happening within the dungeon with the characters, that is just incredibly exciting. Now, undoubtedly, there's a lot.
It wasn't that exciting in practice, but
I still need to do Alexander. There's other trials, you know, primals that I haven't done as well. I'm very much MSQ focused because, yeah, I want
to see. Okay, to-do list. Okay, he has Omega Raid. We done that. He has Alexander. We done that. Warring Triad. I did it. Four Lords did it. Shadow Monarch did it. Ivalice, Palace of the Dead did it. Haven't unlocked the Heaven on High yet because I wasn't invested enough. Firmament. Haven't done it. Okay, died. Started. Dolmen Enclave. I'm finishing. Relic Reborn. What's it? Okay, so the Relic quests. Nope. Hildebrand, Blue Mage. Okay, I haven't finished any of that. Crafting and gathering. Oh, I have a shit ton to do. Ocean fishing, triple triad, housing, custom deliveries. What are custom deliveries? I don't even know. PvP, materia melding, retainers, sightseeing, log, hunts, beast tribes, Eureka, treasure. I have King and lives. I do that at least. Yeah, there's a lot to do.
I got to level.
I started most of these things. I finished like maybe 25%. Well, it can't really finish. Like, what does it mean to finish with retainers? Or with whatever, like, let's say I've gone through it, or I leveled them up, or whatever it is that you can say about these things. Like, you can't finish housing, but once you get comfortable enough to do it, you can say that that's the content you've done. So, yeah. This is definitely a good list.
MSQ done before Endwalker.
Makes me feel I haven't really missed anything.
You know, to be there launch night for the end of a 10-year story, I feel like that is a bit of a, well, sort of once-in-a-lifetime-ish event. I really do want to be there.
We're gonna have so much fun!
It's you know, it's almost fun to just see how much left there is to do.
I'm probably gonna be alone, but
one
that's
time,
okay.
I think that the MSQ for Stormblood was cool, but had its issues, as I talked about in that video. But the patch MSQ is just fantastic. It is packed with incredibly strong character work. It has a lot of great mystery going on through it. It has great action. It has really great pacing. Basically, it just has it all, and it's a really good experience. So,
I love how his character looks like Gratia's waifu, the perfect one.
And, well, that's it for this video, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. If you'd like to do something to help us out, you can check out our game, The Pale Beyond. Not set in Earth, but very much inspired by the heroic age of Antarctic exploration, as told in a single-player narrative RPG. It's what our game team has been working on, you know, full steam since around the start of this year, with a bit of pre-production before that. It's published by Fellow Traveler.
To be fair,
and
this
if you
game
want to help us out, the Steam wishlist
really
is, I mean, it is totally the best way to do that. And certainly, I am so happy that as we are moving into more of our content passes, that sort of stage of development in the game, I'm pretty happy that that is just when I also happen to be playing a game like FF14, because, well, you know, it's good to be more broadly read, right? It's good to see how they handle things, you know?
Yeah.
So, what a treat. Okay, well, you can check that out if you want to help us out. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.
It was a really good one. What was I gonna say? Queue time will be biggest. Yeah, when it comes to queue time, I will, I think, be streaming on Friday, but I'm gonna probably wake up in the morning and start the queue and somehow hope, against all hope, that I will not DC or something, because that would be disastrous. But if I do so, I will still stream on Friday, and if we can't play FF, you guys get to pick what we play, pretty much, or we're just gonna watch videos and chill and wait for the queue or something. So yeah, that's my plan. I'll be right back. I just need to. What's happening? Beyond Gaming, thank you for dropping by tonight. I hope you had a good day and a good time with us on stream, and I'll see you later. Have so much fun in Shadowbringers, and I'm looking forward to watching your videos. Bun Boy Lude, who are you? Wait, who's? Are you going Bun Boy? What did I miss? whatever is happening. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be nuts. So if you have any sort of privilege of trying to get, logged in early enough, you might have a good day. Wait, are you switching to Money Boy? For Endwalker? Where did that conversation come up? Are you gonna? Oh, you are gonna. Huh. Okay, we have another one. This is actually the actually a really fun content creator that I started watching recently. I think him and his wife are going through the story together, which is just romantic as hell. But anyway, they made the video that, yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be a spoiler. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have no idea what is. There's probably gonna be some Shadowbringers information in it, because I think, to my knowledge, they finished Shadowbringers, and there are some things that they're bringing up about some of the MSQ, some mysteries that are I love Cobra. Że zatworzysz? Malum? Mene. Alright, I don't think I heard his voice. I think she edits videos, I believe. But I don't know if she's actually in the videos. I don't watch all of them.
Yeah, what is up there, guys? This is Corbin. Endwalker is fast approaching, so you know what? I thought I'd make a happy little video talking about all of the things that I, at least, am extremely excited to see go down in Endwalker. Most of these probably won't happen. Let's be real, but
oh, they're actually on Lich. Because I see, I more often than not, I see the Rehab FC on Lich, and that's why I first thought so. But I can see in the top right corner that they actually are on Lich. They're on our server.
Hear what you guys think as well. What are you guys looking forward to in Endwalker down below in the comments? What did I miss? Let me know. But let's begin with Fandaniel's painful death. You know what I'm saying? Not really. It would be nice right now to see him die horribly, screaming, having failed his mission to just end fucking everything. But what's more than likely gonna happen? We're gonna land.
Yeah, what's really creepy is that I started suspecting that they're on Lich because I remembered some random FC's name who I see a lot. I now feel like a massive creep.
A lot more about this guy. I believe that the writer has already described her favorite character in Endwalker as Fandaniel himself, and he must get so much development, you know? That makes me so goddamn hyped. So, while right now I do want this guy to die so horribly, gruesomely, I might later come to regret this wish, you know what I'm saying? The writers have a way of making us give a damn about characters, man, is all I'm saying, right? I don't want to underestimate them. Watch, man, God, by the time Endwalker's finished, Fandaniel's gonna be like my favorite character or something, you know? But right now, at least, maybe it's just because he has Asahi's face. I don't know how much that has to do with it, but I can't be alone in this and want to see this guy, man, perish. Next up, we have Emmett Selk somehow making an appearance. I can't be alone in this again, surely not, man. I put the safest ones at the beginning of the video, right? We all want to somehow see Emmett Selk again.
We want to, but
that was released, a few weeks back, and it's all kinds of, it's like the ending of the Ascian arc and stuff like that, right? The Hydaelyn Ascian thing. There's no goddamn way that we're not going to get to at least see him again. Maybe in a flashback or like an unlocked memory or something like that, right? So moving swiftly on, because I feel like that one's a pretty safe bet, right? We have Alice and Alfie re-encountering their father. What was he called? Fortune or something like that, right?
don't know.
And Charlian, right?
Can't
we gotta see them
pronounce that
encounter
name.
each other again. My God,
Oh,
man,
I love that character.
I was not
That's such a cute
prepared
aura.
for the emotional gut punch that was that very first scene that we ever got, you know, between the twins and their father. My God, he just disowned the shit out of them. And while a lot of people are theorizing that, and it does make sense as well, or maybe he's trying to protect them somehow, he's trying to keep them away from doing a certain thing, and because he knows how dangerous
See ya. Bye.
the future really is going to be. I just can't help but think that there was a better way to do it, man. If that is the case, wasn't there a better way to do it? Wasn't there a more like earnest and honest way to do it? I don't know, dude. Maybe not, but I can't wait to learn more about this guy, honestly. I fucking hate his guts right now, but it's just because
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like, even though I know it's good storytelling when they get you so invested into a character, I don't know, some part of me just feels very unwelcome in Endwalker. Like, I'm almost like, if I was supposed to go somewhere and one of the hosts was acting like this, I think there wouldn't be a lot of, you know, stuff that could actually make me want to go to their house. It's just, ugh, you know?
I feel bad for the little guys, man. For our little siblings, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, even more than being excited for, you know, the twins meeting up with Fortuno again, and just seeing how that goes down, I'm equally intrigued, if not more intrigued, by what the fuck's gonna go down when they eventually encounter their mother again. I don't know anything about Alison Alfie's
probably
mother,
the sweetest thing.
but obviously she's still around, you know. Fortuno did reference her in that meeting briefly, you know, when they met with the twins, like the mother's still asking about them or something like that.
I bet they don't really get along because she's too nice.
But yeah, man, I want to know what she thinks about all of this. What does she think about all this, man? Did the father elect to go attend that meeting, like in her stead? Like he was the one who was gonna go do the deed to disown them? Because it almost like it had to have been planned. It had to have been planned. Why would he show up to the meeting just to turn them down, right? Like, you can say, oh, well, maybe he just wanted to encounter, just see his kids again, you know? But
I think he was just an
like
impulsive piece of
already
shit.
made up his mind, really, that
I don't know.
that he's going to disown the shit out of them. Oh, what's up, Soph? I'm recording a video and I've totally lost track of what the fuck I was saying. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, whatever, man. Twins meeting up with the mother. I want to know what the hell's going down with that. Was she cool with Fortuno's plan? Man, we just know so little about her. Or at least I just know so little about her that I'm equally excited for that encounter. Next up, and maybe...
I love how they both work together towards it. And how they're an actual freaking team of people, just like making these videos and just doing a really good job with the thumbnails, with the editing, with the narrative and everything. It's just, I love their channel. I think they're so amazing.
Maybe this is one that's just for me. Maybe nobody else is as excited for this, but I gotta see Fordola get her redemption, man. Everyone's saying that her death is like absolutely inevitable, but you know what, man? I thought fucking Thancred's death was absolutely inevitable. Thought like the entirety of Shadowbringers, right? I was like, man, okay, this is it. Oh, well, it didn't happen in that quest. Okay, man. Next chapter of the MSQ, you know, well, this is it. He's not making it out against Ranjit, you know what I'm saying? No fucking way, but he survived every time, man. So, for all we know,
our Shadowbringers cockroach.
Fordola might live. And I hope that she does, but man, is she gonna have to end the shit out of that narratively, you know? A lot of people point out in the comments, oh, why do you feel so bad for Fordola, man? She's a war criminal, she's a traitor, she's a blah blah blah, this
because
and that, you know?
She's so fucking well
That's
written.
exactly why I want to see her get redeemed, man, because, God, she's got such a fucking hill to climb, you know what I mean? And she's just getting started, really. She's still very unwilling about it, you know? I just think it would be such a monumental story to see this character claw and fight tooth and nail, you know, to earn her soul.
For some reason, I expect a bunch of new
to get her life
characters
back on the
that
right track
we will
again,
just
because
kind of
God
get
damn,
ourselves attached
did she
to.
fall to a very, very low place, you know? And again, man, just because the death feels like it's on the cards for a character, like a lot of people talking about, oh, well, this is it. This is the expansion for one of the twins, you know? People are referencing, like, Final Fantasy IV and stuff, I think, where there's, like, a couple of twin characters. Oh, it doesn't end well for
Or
those
like
twins,
Harry
you know?
Potter.
Spoilers for Final Fantasy IV, if you haven't played it already. It's only been out, like, 30 years or something, you know? I haven't even played it myself yet, but whatever, man. I just read that in the comments, you know? Some people are saying, ooh, it's gonna be, like, some parallels with that, you know? So... maybe you guys are onto something. Maybe one of the twins will pop the clogs. I really fucking hope not. And honestly, I'm of the opinion that a lot of people are kind of metagaming it in the comments as well. A lot of you guys discussing I've seen where it almost feels so obvious. Like the hints are so strong that one of the twins might not make it. And it almost feels so obvious that Fordola is going to have to die to earn her redemption, you know? I'm almost inclined to just flip my opinion completely and say, like, there's no fucking way that Fordola and the twins are gonna die. Right? I don't know. Maybe we're just overthinking these things too much, but we're invested in the story, goddammit, we can't help ourselves, you know what I mean? I'm one of the people I know who's super, super invested in the MSQ, man. Can't help myself. Next up,
absolutely,
I gotta know how are we gonna get our hands on a spaceship? Because apparently we're going to the moon. We also see like the kind of like a PNG image, crazy graphic of a spaceship that briefly appears, or it looks like a spaceship. It looks like something from fucking Star Wars, you know, in the
to me it looked like
gameplay trailer, in the launch
like
trailer, you know,
sword.
for Endwalker. How the hell do we get our hands on that? We're gonna have to like excavate it. It's like an Allegan relic of some kind.
The WoW sword being stabbed into the planet PTSD when I first saw that, because I didn't really think about the ship. I just thought about, you know, the sword in the middle of Silithus just standing there, and I was like, oh, no, is that our way through?
Tataru just gonna become like an engineering god, and like because this is way bigger than Sid is, like anything that Sid has ever done, you know what I mean? Like a spaceship on this scale. But dude, I want to be on a spaceship. I want to be on a spaceship drinking tea with Y'shtola and Tataru, right? And maybe Krilly, because Krilly's a badass and he deserves a cup of chai. And looking out the window, man, at the goddamn stars. Looking down at, like, Eorzea and stuff at the star, you know? Oh, man. It's just going to be grand.
The trailer is so magical.
And the last thing I want to touch on, man. Actually, not the last thing. The second last thing I want to touch on. I think I'm leaving the best to last. Or the most contentious to last, so hopefully not many people make it to the end of the video, man, because, oh man, the comments will light up over this. Next thing I want to see personally, and it probably won't happen in Endwalker, but you know what? I want to see Reen, and Thancred reunite. I don't care how it happens. I don't care how impossible it is. I don't even care if it fucking destroys the law to make it happen. I don't
see why. They both got their ending.
Like,
in
if
their
Thancred
story.
dies in Endwalker, right? Which again, it's another person. People are saying, "Oh, his story arc is complete." You know, is it Thancred's time? Well, his story arc was kind of wrapped up-ish, at least in Shadowbringers. So it almost feels like he's on borrowed time right now. People are saying Y'shtola's on borrowed time as well, actually, which I kind of agree with. Oh man, no one is safe. You know, the more I think about it, but I just think it would be so terrible and so awful and so not in like a bad writing way, just in like a gut-wrenching way, to know that Thancred might die.
They are, but I think their relationship can never ever be the same again, because if you think about Reen, he knew Reen in a particular time during her development, right? And as a character, she is a teenager or whatever, and considering how differently time goes by in the first, and how if they meet, they would just be you know, at different stages of their life, they would have to portray that difference. Like, we don't know who Reen is going to grow into. It would be exciting to get a different form of their relationship, you know, where she is not the kind of, you know, girl who needs like protection or whatever. Like, if she reappeared and she was a fucking badass after a million years, it would be nice.
We get to say like a final farewell. He'd never get to pat her on the head one more time, you know what I'm saying? So I know that's just me. Maybe I'm just worrying over nothing as we get into the final topic of this video. Things that we want to see in Endwalker, things that I want to see in Endwalker. And this is one of those things that I do and don't want to see. It's like, do we kind of low-key, secretly want someone to die? Is that crazy? Is that too controversial? But is it time? You know what I mean? Is it just time in the narrative for someone to die? Like, I know that Square talked about, or if someone at Square, you know, some kind of briefing or like QA or something that was released, they actually said to not expect a Scion to die, right? You shouldn't go into an expansion thinking, oh, well, it's time for Alfie to go, you know what I'm saying? Because It's just
I think the game
having
teaches you to
expectations
be
like that
afraid,
could harm
like,
your ability
all
to actually
the
enjoy the
time.
story, and you're going to view things much more critically and almost be disappointed
It's not
if a character that
necessarily
you
a bad
wanted to
thing.
die doesn't die, or other character that you feels like it's their time, they should die now, it's there, and then they don't die, and you be like, ugh, the writers are cowards, you know, and you start having like these negative thoughts about the narrative rather than just enjoying the story for what it is. But on the flip side, there's something to be said about stakes in a story, you know, and you don't want to get the sense that people are just plot armored to shit, right? And you don't want to just get the sense that, well, you know, this is one of the main scions, there's really no way that Tataru can possibly
there's
die,
always
you know?
always two
There's just
sides
no fucking way.
to
There's
that
no way that
story.
Y'shtola can die. My god, man, she's cheated death like twice now. You know,
can either kill a character because they're important or not kill a character because they're important, and there's no way to know like who exactly is going to die based on that. The fact that they're important, because it could be an argument for yes or for no.
Other people's opinion. And even though Square obviously said that we shouldn't theorize about, you know, which scions we think are going to die, people can't help themselves. People are talking all the time in videos like this one, talking about Endwalker and predictions for Endwalker and stuff. People are talking all the time about, oh, Thancred's arc is complete, like we've already said, and Y'shtola's on borrowed time, and and one of the twins is going to die because of all the Final Fantasy IV references, and because of what Alfie said in the in like the pre-launch trailer, you know, the gameplay trailer. So that's like 3 people already that people have in like their death cards. And I do think that part of these discussions is fueled by the fact that everyone has this innate sense that it's time in the narrative. It's time in the narrative.
No, nobody really believes that, because everyone
extremely
just
devastating deaths, right?
well,
and I don't want to hear all
like,
this nonsense about, oh well, this character can't die because then it would make this side raid in Stormblood irrelevant or something, you know? Like, I think that's
no, everything's
crazy.
been relevant
like,
so far.
You
and
can't just
everything had its
protect
own
every
reasons.
single key character forever because they appeared in some side content in an expansion from like 5 years ago or something, you know? I think that's a pretty weak argument. And I've got to be honest, I do think someone's gonna go, man. I think, honestly,
I love how he says that.
I think it could be fucking devastating. Now, having said that, I do have absolute faith that even if no scions die, this expansion is gonna fucking kick the shit out of our fields, just like goddamn Shadowbringers did, right? There's no way that I'm gonna enter this expansion not having faith in the writers, seeing what we've seen. You know what I'm saying? So whatever happens, I know it's gonna be incredible. I know it's gonna be great. But having said that, it's time. It's time, man. You know, we can't help ourselves. We're gonna discuss it. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Might even like toss a goddamn poll out in the week leading up to Endwalker, you know, when there's like 3 or 4 days left, toss up a poll on the channel, who is dead, and just fucking list all the scions and see what everybody thinks and really take the pulse of what you guys think, you know.
I love watching his
so keep
his
your eyes
raid
out for that, man.
cutscenes. That's why I got a bit distracted.
Hey, what did I miss? What are you looking forward to in
them.
Endwalker in terms of the narrative, man? I know I talk about a lot of the story stuff. Maybe some of you guys just looking forward to new features, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? And just having new cards
new
and
map.
stuff. And hey, maybe that's your thing.
Let's go.
Either way, cheers for watching, everybody. Oh, before we go, I've recently started playing a little bit of Teamfight Tactics on the side, boys. I'm only playing normal games right now. I'm still learning. I'm still a massive noob. I don't even play League of Legends for more than like 10 hours in my life, right? So a lot of this stuff is new to me, but I'm considering recording some things, man.
You think they're just gonna delete the cat girls as a race?
Videos.
Replace them
on
with
the side
female
as we kind of learn the
Rothgars
ropes
and call it a
begin
day?
our climb to Challenger, you know what I'm saying? So let me know if you guys would be interested in that kind of video. How many of you guys actually play TFT or have played, you know, auto chess games?
I tried.
In the past, might be interested in that kind of content. Do let me know.
No.
Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
I don't think he should.
Hope you all did enjoy this video. Hope you all are excited for Endwalker. And please don't go to war in the comments over which character you think is going to die and why and blah, 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 blah. Keep it civil, keep it friendly. Thanks, everybody. I'll catch all of you guys just a tad bit later.
Sorry. Yeah, my toddler, he had a nap this afternoon, and he still hasn't gone to sleep. You wanna come over? Huh? He is still not asleep. He is refusing to go to
I have
bed.
an idea.
And you have an idea? What idea
Oh
do you have?
no.
Oh no.
What do you have to do?
What are we going to do?
Happen?
Huh?
How it happened?
How it happened? What? How what happened?
What?
What happened?
What?
What happened?
Oh my.
Oh my.
See ya.
Huh?
I have an idea.
What idea do you have? Huh? What do you want to say to the chat? Huh?
Yes, we can. We can, yes.
He is, yeah, he is.
Yes, we can, yes. We can, yes.
Yes, we can. No, we can't stay here. You can stay
Yes,
here.
yes, we can, yes.
You are going to have to go. I am going to stay here. You are going to go. You're going to go to sleep now. Do you want to say bye to the chat? Do you want to say bye-bye?
Hello.
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 Okay, well, you got a hello. You got a hello.
What
That's an
happened?
apple. Oh, no.
The apple.
That's my apple.
Yeah, buka.
He just took my food.
Mmm.
He just freaking took my apple. You gonna stay here and eat my apple? Don't put it there.
Mmm.
Ah, your hand is sticky now. Don't do it. Okay, well, apparently, that is my apple. I have a, well, my plate with
Yeah,
my...
I'm a deal.
What idea do you have?
I'm a deal.
Are you gonna tell them
Oh
your
no,
idea?
oh no, oh no.
You're not gonna?
Oh no.
No?
Oh no. No. What you do?
Let's go.
Do you wanna go? Good night. Can you say good night?
Go rest. Go rest.
Good night. Okay, you got a good night.
Okay.
No, it does not look like my apple for sure. I'm just going to, yeah. Now he's gonna want to come back, but I just wanted to say good night because good night, because he's not asleep yet and he's not going to.
Mama.
He's going back. He is unwilling to.
Hey, buddy, why idea?
What do you want? I'm not gonna watch cartoons
What
with
do
you now.
you
We
see?
can't
What
watch
do you
cartoons. We're
see?
gonna
What
get
do you
demonetized.
see?
I
What
see.
do you-
I'm not seeing cartoons.
I see.
What do you see?
I see you.
You see my apples. That's
Apple.
obvious.
Apple. Not your apple. Not your apple.
He just took my freaking apples. Okay, well, at least he took the same one that he already started eating, so that's fine. But like, it's like it's like 11 p.m. or well, 27 past 11. Eating. That's right. Sleep is for later. Yeah, for sure. For sure. We're apparently not going to sleep yet. He fell asleep in the
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye? We're not going to say goodbye to them. They came over here to enjoy
Hello.
our company.
Hello.
They came to enjoy our company. We're not going to say bye to them. That's not a nice thing to say to the chat. You have to welcome them and greet them and say hello.
Oh no, not.
And say welcome.
Oh no, not.
And say,
Not.
I'm happy that you're here. Now he's not...
Together.
Together, yes. Together we're going to say hi to them. Together. Are you gonna go now? Do you want to say goodnight? You want to say night-night? Okay, I think it's time for you to go.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. You're gonna go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's time for you to go. Goodbye.
Mama.
Good night. Good night. Okay, well, that was... That was fun, hopefully. I usually don't have him on stream, but he's not usually awake during this time, so it's kind of a unique opportunity for him to say hi to you guys, and I think he really liked that. Night will only lure hypnos to us to go to sleep will find us. That's so ominous. He left me a souvenir. Like, what am I supposed to do with this now? Just eat it? I guess that's what'll happen. That's fine. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna watch more stuff today. We are going to watch, what is this? This is another one of Bella's videos, but we just watched a longer video, and I just wanted to see, oh wait, I think I'm messing it up a little bit. That's okay. Okay, this is, yeah, I'm in a mood for a little bit of a shorter video now after this one, and then we have another 4 videos to watch. So tonight is a big-ass watch party, and I'm actually excited about today's stream. I think we've been having a lot of fun. This is something that I'm not sure who posted this. Someone on Discord did. Is this a music video of a sort or something? Time lapse. Final Fantasy XIV time lapse compilation. I don't know. This is for the best experience. Use a good headset, crank up the volume, and play at full HD. Okay, we can do that. We are going to play at full HD, and I'm not sure if this contains spoilers or not, but yeah, I'm excited for it. Let's go. Oh, I can already see that this is gonna be beautiful. Oh wow. It's like all the different zones. I love sightseeing, and seeing some of these places change throughout the day is amazing. I will watch that one as well. It's a beautiful song too. It's so pretty.
And if the whole world is crashing down, fall through space out of mind with me.
Like, some of the zones are more beautiful at night, and some are better in the dark. It's crazy, isn't it?
We leave behind all the shadows far away.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? I'm not sure which videos. I can take a look at them on Discord. Just you can post them either. I don't know if you can post them here, but you can post them on Discord, and I'll take a look. I'm not sure if I've seen them. And I like how they started to move the camera as well, and not just keep it in one place. It's crazy good, isn't it? tend to abandon old zones, and most often they don't even like know the names of the zones. They visit it at some point if they're just like running through them as new players or whatever, because there's no reason whatsoever to just kind of, you know, keep yourself there once you are done with like a few quests for a zone that you need to do there or whatever. Or maybe you don't even go to that zone because there's no need for you to go because you've already leveled and you never go through all the zones at the same time. Okay, let me see. Okay, we watched that one, we watched this one. This is another one of Quasi's video that I wanted to watch, and this is something that I don't know anything about currently, because I haven't seen the announcement for the new raid. I think this is about the raid. I don't know. Have no clue. I think copy FFXIV's homework. Yeah, we're gonna watch this. And I will be right back. Maybe. Okay, what did I miss? I don't think, yeah, I actually haven't seen it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it, with an open mind. I don't think they're intentionally trying to copy anything, to be honest, just before watching this video. However, I can see that every single eyeball who knows something about World of Warcraft and about Final Fantasy is now looking at the two games, and I can see how all of them are trying to find these similarities, but...
Yes. Today, I, as Justice, the lead developer for World of Footballs, will defend my honor, defend the good name of World of Footballs. I've been under attack by the savage FFXIV community. By the way, I heard they won the Best Gaming Community Award from the Golden Joystick, but I'm still deeply hurt that this great community, by the way, can be so hostile towards the World of Footballs. But regardless, I'll be covering two items in this special presentation today. First, to address the allegations from the FFXIV community that I copied the symbol of Azem's crystal in the latest World of Footballs cutscene. And this is not true, Paya, and I'll explain why in a bit.
Honestly, I haven't been following WoW's lore in a long time now, enough for me to at least know like why this symbol had to look this exact way. I have no clue, so I'm gonna have to look for more info about that, but let's watch.
In the second part of this presentation, I will share more exciting information about our latest raid that will launch really soon, and to give you a teaser of the final two bosses. Now, on to the first topic. Let me be clear. World of Footballs will never copy anyone's homework. As I explained in the last video, Patch 4.2 Water Walker's End is just us ending the final chapter of our first major story arc that stretches back all the way back to the Garden of Eden.
It's kind of sad that in WoW's case, you have a patch that's not even the last patch, I guess. Or maybe it is, I don't even know. just a patch ending the story, whereas Endwalker has been basically hyped up for years as being the ending, and it's not just a patch, but the entire expansion.
Where Adam and Eve were eating fruits that fell from the fruit trees. I heard it's a very popular concept these days to end major story arcs, just like how Endwalker is ending Hydaelyn and Zodiac's story arc. So I also wanted Water Walker's End to be the final chapter of the first book of the World of Fruit Bowl saga. But I, as Justice, wrote the lore on fruit bowls. So technically I own it, so by ending the first chapter here, I'm not copying anyone's homework. Okay, now let's talk about Azem's Crystal. I am going to play you the cutscene that everyone is accusing me of plagiarizing. And as you admire our team's wonderful visuals, I will explain to you why you're all wrong. By the way, this is why you didn't make it to the Elite Fruit Community Council I was recruiting for in a previous video, because you cannot think on the same wavelength as the World of Fruit Bowls team. But I digress, back to Azem's Crystal. Firstly, for all the people who said that I stole Azem's symbol and crystal, have you even played FFXIV? Because I surely have. Because I keep losing payers to FFXIV. So of course I have to play it for myself to see why people are leaving my game to go to Eorzea. Now if you actually played it,
I wonder,
Azem is also known as the Traveler.
I wonder how many WoW devs actually played Final Fantasy XIV in the last year.
Because Azem is capable of interdimensional travel. Here's a shocking new lore that I bet you didn't know exists until exactly 5 seconds from now. Azem has actually travelled to the world of fruit bowls previously. And yes, I know you all have shocked Pikachu faces now. I'm sure you didn't see this coming. Of course you didn't, because I just made it up. But it's okay, I forgive you. Let me elaborate. Azem travelled to the land of fruit bowls to seek a solution, to seek an answer. You see, what happened was as the copium level surges in World of Fruit Bowls, as the number of paid store mounts and cosmetics increase to a dangerous levels, the etheric barrier between World of Fruit Bowls and Azem's world will weaken, and copium will start seeping into Azem's home dimension. That is why he paid us a visit, to find a solution to the coming of an end, to rewrite the rules of reality. So now you can understand from a lore perspective why there's a Azem crystal in our very own cutscene. It's not to instill any form of FOMO, there's clearly a good reason for it. Now there's another reason why I did not copy FFXIV's homework, and that is because consistent with the high standards of recoloring previous content at World of Fruit Bowls, which I've demonstrated through numerous recoloring of tier sets and mounts, I have also recolored the crystal. You can see in FFXIV's case, the crystal is more of an orange shade crystal. Mine is veering more off to the yellow shade of crystal. And so therefore I did not copy. I did not use the exact same color code. Trust me, I'm an expert when it comes to recoloring. I've recolored at least 100 mounts and counting now. And some of you might ask, well, then how do you explain the symbol in the middle, the circle with a dot? Well, my dear players, that is not a symbol that is owned by FFXIV. That is actually the alchemical symbol for the sun.
I love how this is actually educational and actually in some sort of messed up way explains the differences between these.
Are you trying to tell me that FFXIV owns the sun? No, of course not. The sun is shared by all the denizens of the universe, including the joyful fruits in World of Fruit Bowls. So yes, while there are other shapes and symbols I could have used,
the timing
like a square,
is super bad.
rectangle, or a triangle, I chose to use this symbol. It's perfectly logical. And then some people were asking me like, what about the shape and the outline? Well, dear players, now you are being illogical, because if you look more closely, the shape of this crystal does not come from FFXIV. It comes from the head of the Arbiter, which is created by us, so it belongs to us now. I'm currently filing a patent for this shape, so no one else can say I stole this shape anymore. Okay, so dear players, I think that cleared up many misunderstandings about us copying FFXIV, and I'm sure you're very convinced now. Let's move on to something more exciting.
I still am beyond understanding like why they're choosing to remove female bodies from the game. It's not the female bodies that were incriminating inside of the game. It really isn't, because female bodies, just like male bodies, are everywhere and they're allowed to, you know, look good. Look at Final Fantasy. Like, is anyone going after Final Fantasy and just like, I don't know, trying to make, I don't know, female characters or female bodies or whatever look incriminating because they're hot. No, they're not doing that. And I just don't understand why this is yeah, pressure from sources, yes, but who are these sources? Like, do these sources want the good for the game? Because when you think about it, World of Warcraft and even Final Fantasy, they don't have the audience of like 13-year-olds or 14-year-olds or whatever. It's not a game for kids. Like, I mean, yes, it's a game, but it's a game that you pay for. And there's a higher chance that an adult will pay for a game rather than a child. So adults, I think, are pretty much aware of the fact that hot characters and models or whatever can indeed exist. And this is just so dumb. Yeah, we have a boob slider, exactly. Like, it's there for a reason. At the beginning, at the introduction to your character, it completely tells you what you can do in the game, what you should be focusing on, and what's important. And if you don't read that from the boob slider, you're reading the room wrong.
I'd like to give you a teaser of what's to come for World of Fruitballs. Everyone knows the final boss of every raid tier brings immense hype. I, as Justice, is proud to give you a sneak preview today. Are you ready, my friends? Here we go. The raid tier for 4.2, the Yacht of First Pick Fruits. Now, I won't give too much away, but there's a shocking twist I can't wait for you to uncover. For 2 expansions now, you have all thought you were going up against Joval, the evil pumpkin who will not serve. But guess what? You're wrong again. In this shocking twist, you will uncover for yourself that Joval has actually realized he has been a pawn in the big bad's game this entire time. Yes, there's a more sinister force that lies in the background, and you will face this mysterious force in the final battle.
You can talk
but
about it
before you get to the final
anytime.
big bad,
No
you
worries.
will have to face Joval for the final time, I promise. Unless I decide to revive him in the future by retconning lore again. Joval will be the
Please
second
no.
last boss of the
Stop
raid,
it.
Yacht of the First Picked Fruits. In your fight against Joval, you need to beat him in a very tight DPS check encounter before he gets to yell enough and open a portal to run away again. But dear players, with the power of friendship, when you finally beat Joval, there's an emotional cutscene that awaits you. I, as Justice, have done a lot of research, and I learned many people left our game to play FFXIV because it has better storytelling, especially in the department of how it has emotional scenes that make you cry. So
the thing about it is that the approach is wrong. The approach is wrong in a way that you let's say you're in a public pool, and let's say you peed in a pool, and you don't really want people to know about it, and normally people wouldn't care. Okay, there are a few people around you who could notice it, who would care, who would think it's disgusting or whatever, but mostly you're surrounded by water and people don't really pay attention to what you're doing. What they're doing with removal of the female bodies, portraits or whatever, are basically they're coming out of the pool yelling, "Peeing in the pool is wrong. I would never, ever, ever pee in a public pool. There's bacteria that you can spread. There's disease. It's disgusting. It's whatever." And then suddenly the whole pool is looking at them, just wondering, why in the world are you talking about this? You know, the fact that, you know, things happened within their company that, you know, made, you know, a lot of their female employees and others uncomfortable does not necessarily mean that they have to, you know, yell it out in this sort of way and just make it a lot worse.
So
Anyway.
I am bringing that to you. Intern, can you switch to the emotional music now? Alright, that's what I'm talking about. Hey Intern, just to be sure, you didn't take this song from FFXIV, right? Okay, great. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, the emotional scene. Picture this, dear players. A dying Joval, oozing pumpkin juice on the ground,
This is
amidst
so
a
funny.
heavy thunderstorm and downpour when you beat him. He will turn to you and say these mysterious parting words. Joval, gasping for breath, will turn to you and say, remember that I never served. And as the rains have ceased, and everyone on Copium is here to see it, Joval turns to you and give you one last smile.
Emmett's Oak
He
making a
utters in
reappearance
agony,
in WoW.
"Oh, do not look at me so. A smile better suits a hero. What a moving piece that is, my friend. I can't believe how good the story writing of World of Fruitballs is sometimes. But as you pick up the shards of your broken heart and you nurse your emotional wounds, you are interrupted by a bellowing voice, a booming voice that threatens to have you killed. And then he appears, the big bad, the sinister one, the one they have been talking about since the time of the pre-first ones who made the first ones.
I love how Quasi just like went ahead and made this decision to be this person within the community to tell these stories, and he's just like, I'm gonna stand behind it and I'm gonna say it. And we're all thinking it, and it's just made his content so much better.
To make the second ones. Yes, this big bad, the evil force that have existed since the dawn of time, is none other than Bad Bobby. I bet you did not see that coming. Bad Bobby will take you on in the culmination of a 10-year saga on the very final floor on the yacht of the first pick fruits. His very own
Bad
yacht.
Bobby is
Bad Bobby
hilarious.
is the one who will reveal that he is actually the one who intends to rewrite the rules of reality. And this is when you truly learn what it means. He intends to rewrite every single newspaper headlines in the past 10 years because such is Bad Bobby's conviction to prevail. And that is the overwhelming conviction that led to the corruption of Joval, the
Activision
deceased
Blizzard
pumpkin
CEO.
who will not serve. Now, as per all final bosses of our World of Fruitballs raid, there will be a secret phase that I cannot wait for the race to world first teams like Limit and Echo to find out for themselves. You need to throw pieces of fruits into a salad bowl in order to create the ultimate fruit salad, the only way you can take down Bad Bobby, who has proven to be an eternal who can survive anything at this point. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Can't wait to find out the lore, am I right? To help you better understand the lore of World of Fruitballs, I am also very proud to present to you our latest lore book that I'm launching, Tales of the Lychee King, for a mere $60 with wonderful cover art. Not only will you get to learn about the story of the Lychee King, you will also get a shiny recolored water.
P.S. Words sold separately. Why? $60 plus free in-game watermelon mount.
Melon mount in the game. Speaking about lore and storytelling,
okay,
I'm
now we
hiring
need a
storytelling
watermelon
interns.
mount.
So if you have a flair for copying people's homework, make sure to send ideas my way on what you think the next chapter of World of Fruitball should be in the comment section. But more importantly, my dear payers, I know your hype is immeasurable, and I cannot wait to see you subscribe to World of Fruitballs to take on Bad Bobby. But make sure you also smash the subscribe button on this video by clicking here above my head. I need all the subscriptions I can get to keep my job. And if you're dying for more World of Fruitballs content, you need to drop whatever you're doing right now and click on this video here. It talks about our latest content patch, Water Walkers End. Thank you, dear payers. I will see you soon.
Okay, let's be honest and real. Do you need and do you want a watermelon mount in Final Fantasy in Final Fantasy 14? I don't see how the answer could be a no. I think this was perfect. There's another one of Valulars that you've been recommending to me for a while. Final 14 stays fun with no new content, and since I kind of arrived into the game with no new content in front of me except for all the old content that was new content for me, that's pretty much the answer to how it was fun for me. But what about like all the other people, right? The people who have been logging in every day for years now, and they still find something to do in the game and still find a way to you know, for the game to make them happy without them either, you know, unsubscribing or just, you know, playing a whole nother game for ages. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to see his take as a, you know, as a fellow Sprout with 2021.
Okay,
so
this situation is pretty damn cool, and honestly, the likes of World of Warcraft could probably learn from it. Final Fantasy XIV has not had a content patch since 5.55 added some MSQ quests all the way back in May. The small handful of patches
I love that I know
have
this.
just been minor systems adjustments and the removal of a lockout. So complete content drought until Endwalker, right? Well, usually the content gap between the final patch and a new expansion can be long and it can be brutal.
Okay, guys, when was the last Shadowbringers patch?
Leaving a game in a state of almost undeath until it explodes with life again. That's an almost natural thing in MMOs, or at least we thought so. Watching FF14 over the last few months has shown us that it does not have to be that way. I could go off about horizontal progression, relic grinds, social aspects, or there being a lot of content to catch up on if you're a new player to the game. But those things are pretty damn obvious. They're just static bits of the game. They're always there, so they keep the game at this baseline.
This was gorgeous.
Which is great and all.
To
but
me, witnessing the Rising for the first time was gorgeous.
New content, the new things does. So, how does FF14 not have a single content patch, but still be injected with energy? Well, since 5.55, there have been 7 seasonal events. That's actually more than 1 per month. Now, obviously, I'm coming from a World of Warcraft background, and in WoW, to be honest, we don't put a lot of weight into our seasonal events anymore. Some of them, certainly, like Brewfest, Midsummer, Winter.
What's sad in World of Warcraft is that there's an event which is bi-monthly, as in like it happens every 2 weeks. I think I said the right word. Anyway, it's called the Moonfire Fair, and you get to go there. It's like a big carnival. The closest thing to explain it, to compare it with, would be, well, it's not Gold Saucer, but it does have like these races and mini games and whatnot. And I have been playing WoW for like 5 years or 6 years, and never have I ever said to myself, I'm gonna drop everything else that I'm doing and I'm gonna go there and play play Moonfire Fair for these rewards, because you normally don't feel compelled to, because there's nothing new added to it. And also you have such an overwhelming amount of chores that if you went up to your, guild and said, hey, today I'm not doing, I don't know, dungeons or whatever, I'm doing the Moonfire Fair, you're probably not going to go to the next raid because you didn't spend time farming something that you need for the raid.
Vale, Hallows End, they do have some cool little things attached, but the ones that bring something interesting to do are a bit more few and far between, and being real here, they have not changed much, if at all, in upward of 10 years. Do them once and they're done. Over in FF though, the events feel so lively. Since 5.55, there have been 5 events that have brought some form of content, and then 2 iterations of the Moogle Treasure Trove, your own of which you can get with Boxu, the place to get a slice of Japan each month, and with my code, you'll get 10% off up to $47 down below.
Throwing in these
their
ads.
boxes are a super fun journey through top-notch Japanese snacking. Like, these literally do ship from Japan. It's great. You get the little booklet going over everything, all the snack makers they partner with.
The events in WoW, they look like there's a lot of them, but a lot of them you just ignore because they're either not worth doing or no one else does them, so you're just there alone, or you don't have time to do them. So it looks like there's plenty of them, but in reality, the only reason you'll ever do them is if you log into WoW every day and you do everything under the sun that's available that day. And most people don't.
They do some unique treats too. It really is the perfect gift, and you may even get tickets to Japan because Boxu is doing a giveaway of 5 sets, and anyone who is subscribed before the end of December is eligible. Now, this month, I've got snacks from 12 prefectures. So we've got awesome stuff. These gummies, blueberry gummies, they're insane. We have yuzu souffle sort of thing. Delicious. And while we're on that, right?
No!
Yuzu pepper popcorn.
No, you're tempting
This is madness. I cannot believe that just yuzu stuff is over here. Really good. We, of course, as always, have got some delicious tea.
No!
We've got, there's yam pies, and then this, right? This is like a crunchy, caramelized
I'm gonna have
apple
to
treat.
go on a cooking spree after the stream.
You get 10% off, up to $47 if you hit up our link down below. These are a bunch of fun. They make for a great gift. And hey, you've probably never tasted the unique snacks that come from Japan. So thanks, Boxu. Let's go.
Ate your last sweets.
The first big event that most of the new wave of FF14 players got was the Make It Rain campaign. I actually missed it.
Oh, that was so fun.
For almost a month, the Manderville Gold Saucer points earned had a 50% bonus applied. And there was also a heist for people to investigate. So first up, this obviously acts as a big rallying cry for players, especially the new wave, to get lost in the gold saucer for a few weeks. A lot of people were introduced to the Fashion Report, which itself is a pretty damn cool little system. We lost a few good amounts of truck and roll racing, and overall, it was just cool. I mean, even not being super in at the time, I remember watching the videos. Somewhat similar, actually, to a real-life fair. I suppose that's how it felt. But there's another dimension to this event as well, because everybody at the time knew that the FF15 crossover event was coming up soon, and that brought the Regalia Type G, which is the 4-seater car that can be bought with MGP. Now, this super expensive car is on the horizon, so people who had missed out on it before had all the more reason to join in and make some bank in the gold saucer.
I had a video on farming the MGPs, or I still do have it. And I remember that, like, in the comments, once the event hit, I got basically a surge of people going back to that video to actually farm MGPs when the car became available, because they didn't actually know about the Make It Rain event. And I made the MGP video back when there was the Make It Rain event for more successful MGP farming and whatnot. And it turns out that a lot of people just didn't know that there was going to be a car.
Then, of course, there's the Great Horn Heist quest, which may have only been one measly evening worth of questing, but it was a pretty cool set of quests. Really, the strength of FF's quest writing just shines when they get you to feel invested. In this case, the apparent false accusation, and they managed to keep sort of people on the edge of their seat trying to figure out the true culprit. It was a pretty cool little event, actually. Matt gave me the full skinny on it. I guess a little slice of Phoenix Wright, complete with all the intrigue, so I hope it comes around again, because that sounds cool.
It was cool.
Now, the next one wasn't very much.
Blizzard.
It was the Moonfire Fair, a 2-week-long summertime event.
Is that actually what you wrote?
Each year, and sometimes some fates. Now, this one had a new reward attached. It was the polar bear mount that you see all over the place. Drew some laughs because, of course, it was a polar bear mount. It would almost remind you of, like, the BlizzCon polar bear mount, and it all hit during peak anti-Blizzard entertainment sentiment. And, of course, you're killing a blizzard of bombards.
I thought
it wasn't a massive set of content, about a 15 to 20 minute quest. And
I thought it was so fun how like the polar bear was the award, and it's the summer festival of a sort, and at first you feel like the reward is not fitting at all, but then you do the quest and you're like, I can't imagine my life without that bear. That bear fits perfectly, and it was supposed to be there all along.
A grindable fate for some cute rewards, but hey, it was a new thing in the game. Breaks up the monotony with something new. There's certainly an argument to be made against not bringing old fun content back, like the jump tower that was there in 2018, but I suppose that's the price of having some new stuff. Now, there is of course more. Right after the last one ended, the game moved right into another one, this time The Rising, which is the yearly anniversary celebration. No real special content here, but it's a time of year, of course, where the dev team is extending their thanks to the players and kind of reflecting on the past year. It's a personal speech to the player base, and it's delivered to you and your character by Yoshi P himself.
So crazy, isn't it? I did
not nothing else like it, really, in just about any other game. It is a really cool touch, and again, it is one that did waves on the internet, showing the importance of these events and how they can just keep people talking about the game and, well, keep it in the headlines. The next one was the return of a crossover, and it's one that shows just how much the team love the properties that they work with. I mean, that's pretty obvious if you look at past FF games being referenced in it.
I mean, technically, the difference between these events and events in WoW is that you do actually feel compelled to resubscribe for an event. Throughout my years of playing WoW, I have never encountered a person who said that they were unsubscribed for World of Warcraft, but that they're gonna come back for, like, Winter's Veil, or that they're gonna come back for Brewfest, or that they're gonna, 1 month come back to play Moonfire Fair, or that they're going to come back when there's a bonus for pet battles or whatever. Like, it's just not a thing, whereas in Final Fantasy it definitely is. And those players may not be the most consistent players in terms of how much time they spend in the game throughout the year, but there's always something compelling. Like, if you don't if you don't subscribe back for Nocturne Heroes, you miss out on a freaking mount or whatever. And being there for a month just maybe gets you into doing something else as well, and it kind of works out.
FF14. Over the course of the short quest chain to find a way home for Noctis, it culminates in the fight against Garuda. It's not our Garuda, though. It is, of course, Final Fantasy XV Garuda, because that's just one of the cool things about the FF series. Now,
you can
if
borrow
you've
stuff.
seen any FF15 at all, you'll have seen Noctis teleport around the place like mad with his warp strike. And because these devs all seem to love FF as much as the players do, and understand what we think is going to be cool, we get to do that as well. And the result of this is the really unique solo duty against Garuda, which is totally designed around using Warp Strike at the right time to dodge a whole bunch of her attacks and do bonus damage with Noctis. All in all, it's about 45 minutes of questing, of course, Noctis's outfit, a farmable fate, to get some extra rewards,
that outfit
and of course,
is so good.
the ability to buy the car.
The fact that you can dye it,
and if you
makes
played
it totally worth it.
15, 14's Garuda Extreme Fight was actually adapted for that game, and it had its own seasonal content.
Cool.
Not to rail too much on Blizzard here, but when FF14 is doing this stuff, referencing the other Square Enix games so well, it does make you wonder why Blizzard don't do that a little bit more with World of Warcraft. I mean, there's a World of
to
Warcraft
be honest, that
cross-promotion, but
thing was pretty cool.
It kind of reeks of money and doesn't feel good.
It does. Okay, the Puff was hilarious.
Then, of course, there is the other big Square Enix crossover, Dragon Quest X, which again made a return.
However, this video can make you feel bad.
And they just have so much fun with
if you didn't do the quest and now you're like, let's look at the video with all the events that I may have missed, and you're just like, oh, yep, don't have that, and it's just like, you know, I missed out on the first Moogle treasure trove thing, because I was new to the game and people told me that there is a Moogle thing, and I was like level 3. Didn't even know what a Moogle is, so I was just like, whatever. And yeah, it was bad.
Nice presentation in the in-game cinematics here. It's all really cool. We gotta watch the clip of Preach getting his puff. All the content really over these 5 events. It really does amount to no more than a few hours of quests and a few more, like, you know, just bits of fate grinding.
That was such an awesome reaction.
2 of the crossovers are just returning events from a few years ago, but all of this stuff is happening with there being just nothing else happening in the game. And that means that they fill a gap. They add some flavor. They make it still feel alive. And we've not even talked...
And the people!
Moogle events.
Like, when you log in and you see all these people around you doing the same thing, you feel the validation.
And the idea of adding a currency, a regular
I need to get my jacket.
to a whole bunch of content, and then hand-selecting a bunch of existing rewards to sell for that currency, it is a really interesting way to just throw some variety into a big cosmetic farm that I guess is the sort of thing an MMO always ends up having, and of course it keeps the queues populated. It's a pretty neat solution to some of the problems that a game like this will face during a content drought. Of course, the Inferno jacket from this one is pretty cool, and the fact that they cycle through existing rewards is really neat, but the thing that's impressive is how it just ends up feeling to the players. To use one example, the Dark Lanner from Nidhogg Extreme costs 50 tomes right now. Farming him solo for the Dark Lanner itself is a bit slow, and getting a group to farm it with you can be fun, but it is also a big grind with a low drop chance. Of course, mount farming has that excellent fallback of costing 99 kills worth of totems, which you'll get 1 of for each kill, but the Moogle events kind of act like another fallback.
Yeah,
As
but
an
it's
example,
also fine
Matt,
because in
in
WoW, for example, you don't have that.
Roulettes and some dungeon
you don't collect tokens
to level up Warrior and
to
White
get a
Mage.
pity
He's doing
timer.
that ahead of Endwalker. And before Matt even realized he had enough for Dark Lanner, which is something he had been meaning to go and farm, but he actually ended up getting as a reward for regular play because it was done during this event. But above anything else, here's what is impressive. me and Matt, come from World of Warcraft, where, largely speaking, you are limited creatively in your gameplay. There's, of course, a ton of talents and gear choice, and that's all pretty...
Yeah, sharing the moment with others is exactly my point. Getting that bear this year, getting the car, it was fine. But, like, the moment I got it, and I got to stand in the line with, like, all the people who just got their bear or their car or whatever, and just made, like, a tower of cars in the air, or a bear pyramid, or whatever it was that was the thing. I was just, like, standing there with all these players. It's like, wow, this is pretty cool that I get to be a part of this. I thought that was awesome.
Cool. But if something gets too out of line or is in an odd part of the game, it can get nerfed. The fun police is what we call them in World of Warcraft land. And, well, here's an example. People started making speed farming sets for old raids, right? So you could just run really, really, really fast. Blizzard noticed, and then the speed sets were nerfed into the ground. So those players just had to go more slowly. Now, how does it apply to this? Well,
yeah,
if
fun
you've
police.
been paying attention, and you will have seen the Blue Mage Tombstone farming.
Why do people, why is it not a thing that if the player's genius is at a high enough level to come up with these things, why are these things not encouraged encouraged, at least allowed, as a reward to these players who have shown dedication to the game and time inside of the game to come up with such a system? Because I can't go and think of a system if I'm not playing a game, but if I'm inside of a game all day and if that's my focus, how is that not supposed to be awarding?
That is going on. Now, Blue Mage, if you're unfamiliar, and initially I was because it's bonkers, it's a limited job. So the cap right now is level 80, of course. It only goes to level 70, and it's actually disqualified for most forms of content in the game. But that's because it's a Blue Mage. It's a staple of the FF series, and its gimmick is that it learns enemy abilities. It's got 104 spells that it can learn, and some of them are just bonkers. Instant kills, 90% damage reductions, stuns that ignore resistance. Basically, they are totally busted, and they are a whole mini-game in themselves, just learning all of the spells that they can learn from the right bosses, doing the Masked Carnival and the achievements for clearing
I don't even know if there's a
Blue Mage
meta
is
for
cool.
Blue Mage.
But
Like, is
anyway,
there a set of
this is
spells
relevant
that
because
you
people found a way to farm
wanna
the hell
use
out of the irregular
as a,
tombstones with Blue
as a
Mage
main set?
shenanigans. Because basically a party of them can absolutely delete Coil's turn 2 with the right combo of spells. And, I mean, look, this happened for both me and Matt. It's our first instinct as WoW players. We were just like, when's that going to get nerfed? It's been 2 weeks and the fun police haven't shown up. What? That's weird. In fact, these players who have now figured out how to use the game mechanics cleverly, they are going to max out their MGP, they're going to get some mounts, they're going to fill their bags of goodies from the event. And while that may seem a bit abusive, you know what? It is a bit of player-driven content that is enabled by an event. Because if they nerfed this, a bunch of those people just wouldn't bother. But hey, now guess what's happening? They're logging into FF14 and paying a subscription.
And leveling up Blue Mage.
Next time it turns up,
hello!
This event will give us a different list of rewards that, just give us new stuff. And maybe those, Blue Mage farmers will have to go discover a new strategy. So it's a great experience for the players on basically every level. So
it's a different mindset within the developers. You have, on one side, you have the developers who are looking at something that players have made, and they go into defense and put these things out of the game or nerf them or whatever, just because the certain kind of gameplay that was happening inside of the game wasn't their original intention. However, in FF14, they may be, profit focused, and they may be realizing that these people actually pay the sub most of the time if they're not on free trial or whatever, but still they're kind of, bringing traction to the game. To freaking, enter the coils with a Blue Mage, you have to have a Blue Mage. Yes, it can be gotten in an hour or whatever, but a lot of people also don't do that or don't know about that. And some people just have fun, experiencing that on their own pace. without looking at the guides or getting, you know, carried or whatever. And that's the magic of it. Like, it doesn't matter that these players are getting more rewards faster. They've put in an effort to get to that point, and that should be the reward, that they can do that.
A neat way to make the best of what they've got. Another big thing is just the scheduling. I mean, being guaranteed at least a new continuation of an event with familiar characters around the same time every year is, of course, a great start, even if it is nothing special. You know, it at least will be there that there might be something new. And then, of course, the crossover events, well, they are not going to be new the second or third time that they're cycled into the game, but many people will have missed them or have fully done them before, so it's just good that they keep on coming up. And reading how events have changed over time has also been really fun. And it's just added to this feeling that FF is an MMO that is always moving forward, and the players are just always looked after a little bit.
They are.
When the devs are hard at work on the next expansion. Like Yoshi P said in the Rising this year, what a pleasure it is to welcome you here again, and what a privilege that your chosen trail should run alongside mine for so long. I think the reason the trail runs alongside for so long is because of the quality, of course, but also the stability and the reliable content.
And the positive affirmation from other players who you see are showing up to that same event. To me, that was the main thing in WoW. Like in WoW, I joined in Draenor when everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people pretty much left the game already. So, like for an event, let's say it was Wintervale, and I was trying to, I don't know, get the mount and logging in every day to do the Santa quests or whatever. And when I saw that I can't get a group to, I don't know, kill the Grinch or whatever it was, or that, you know, the areas that are supposed to be populated with people farming certain mobs, that they're just empty, you kind of feel like a fool.
These events are just one small part of how FF14 keeps it all together.
And in FF it's different.
They're overlooked compared to a reliable patch cycle and good systems design, but I think we would sorely miss them if they were gone. In a way, that is it. That is actually it for the original video, but I do have a final thing to talk to you about. And no, it's not self-promo for the game we're making, The Pale Beyond. Wishlist it in Steam. It's actually a little bit of World of Warcraft. Because I remember, after the Siege of Orgrimmar, way back in the day, it was 14 months till Warlords of Draenor came out. And Blizzard at that time started doing some double XP weekends. Some little bonus events for things. I think they did a double Valor month or whatever. And those did juice up the game a little bit. If you were rolling a new alt, you'd be like, oh, cool, I'll level faster or whatever. And while not as creative or involved as what FF14 is doing now, it helped. And that has just made me wonder. World of Warcraft has got its seasonal events. You know, the ones that are based on real-world holidays from various regions of the world. We've got Chinese New Year.
There's something a little bit, in my opinion, lazy, right? And those are the mini holidays in WoW. Basically, you do the mini holidays, but you get some items or you get to do something or wear something or whatever only during that holiday. And it just kind of sucks because it doesn't count as your, you know, regular glamour. It's kind of gated, you know? You get it and it just, you know, sits there, or you get like a use item or whatever that you can only use during that time that, you know, makes you look like something, or maybe you get like a special, I don't know, food or beverage or whatever. But it's not really that exciting. Those are the events that could be bringing in people. Imagine if there was a mount or something attached to these, you know, mini holidays, like every year, if there was like a different one or something, like people would actually know about these mini events. I don't even know anyone who can tell me which events there are on a weekly, on a yearly level, and there are plenty of them. People just don't know about it because they don't care, because they're not incentivized.
We've got, I guess, Christmas. We've got, you know, summer, Halloween, all these things. But they've been left to languish. And it's something that came to me maybe a week ago when I was actually thinking about this very video and about FF14. If Blizzard did a World of Warcraft expansion and they said that one of their major features was that every single holiday event in the game was getting a massive amount of work done, then I would think to myself, okay, so not only is the expansion going to come out, not only am I going to get some patches, but I'm always going to get a cool event, a new thing every month. And when we tie that to the core fundamental business model of an MMORPG...
See, these things like March of the Tadpoles, Volunteer Guard, or whatever, you just, you know, like, okay, a spring balloon festival, right? You get to ride around in a balloon and just like look at the sightings or whatever during that time. But like, that's it. You just hop on around and you look at it. And it's fine, you know. I love vistas. It's not a bad event, but like it's just dumb how you never get anything.
In their financial interest to do so. So this is a way to praise Final Fantasy XIV, but also it's a way to say, hey Blizzard, I think this is something that you guys should take a look at. See if you could do it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right now you've got your weird bonus week system. Well, it's not really that great, is it? And the in-game events have not really been developed much, have they?
No, it's boring.
So,
it's unfortunate. It is
What
boring, but
Yoshi P and
unfortunate.
everyone's doing.
Exactly.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind borrowing some great ideas. After all, they've been very humble about how they borrowed a lot of ideas from World of Warcraft Cataclysm when it came to doing A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Realm Reborn somehow just turned out better.
Let me know if this stuff's helped you, kept you playing the game more. Let me know what you think.
Oh, it helped me play the game more, and you know, help me stay in the game is not just, you know, the channel, but you guys, friends, and just people who I get to do stuff with, and it's just that's pretty much what it is. And for as long as the situation in WoW is the way it is, there's not going to be, you know, many happy friends going around that you can meet and do stuff with without, I don't know, somehow just suffering through the experience. In FFXIV Shampoos bottle, you only get... I mean, but you have the pile. It doesn't have like a line on the item that says usable only during, what is it, the shampoo festival. Like, I'm just making it up. I don't know where you get the bottle thing, but that's the thing. Exactly, like why would you be ashamed of learning? It's just that at this point it would be too much drama to admit that they are learning from FF, because everyone's just looking at whether or not they're copying, whether or not they're learning, what's happening and whatnot. And if they're, you know, if they come out as humble and be like, yeah, you know, we have decided to take a step back and see what people are doing, it's just kind of weird, because they're gonna have the whole community, like, first look, the WoW community. Yeah, he's still not asleep. I'll be right back. Что? Какой обычно? Видите, смотри, right? What we're experiencing right now is the power of the afternoon nap that this toddler usually doesn't get, but today he fell asleep in his feeding chair thing, and I couldn't wake him up. He was only asleep for a minute, and he just refused to wake up, so I let him sleep for like half an hour, and it was the worst thing I could have done. The worst. This is something that I think some of you, I don't know who posted this actually, but this is about, well, I think the video was more for me because I am an aura, but if you are one, maybe this is gonna be interesting to you, but I want to hear the aura lore. Even though I know bits and pieces or whatever, I'm not even sure if this is a lore video or not, but I think it would be kind of cool. Well, it wasn't actually an evening nap. Right now he's in his like toy box thing and refusing to listen to reason and not wanting to not play with his Legos anymore, and it's past midnight. And if it's a lore video, then awesome, because I do want to hear a little bit more about it. And yeah, if you enjoy that kind of thing, if you are a fellow aura, don't know much about yourself, or you just want to hear about it, I think you might like it.
Hello everyone! For now, this will be our last class on the premier races of Eorzea. I understand that we've seen a large immigration of a couple other species to our homeland recently, but until they settle in more comfortably, I'd like to cover a still recent addition to our continent of Aldenard. So join me, as we dive headfirst into the polarizing lives of the Aura. While the other races we've covered so far had some kind of long storied history within Eorzea, the Aura are still rather new and fresh-faced as far as the land.
I mean, they have the whole village that kind of sort of explains them.
Aura have been known to travel westward towards the continent of Aldenard, but were only ever seen on extremely rare occasions, making them exotic to some and terrifying to others. It's only during the terrorizing of land by Garlemald and the recent civil unrest within the countries of Othard that we've seen Aura moving to Eorzea en masse.
He has a very compelling voice.
Forces and failing politics, thousands of Aura sought to move westward in search of safety. You've likely seen or met many Aura in the past few decades because of these changes, and from this point on, it's safe to say they'll be instrumental in our lane's history from now on. The most striking differences between the Aura and other races of the world is their scaled appearance. These thick
I never liked
various
male
parts of their
Aura for
bodies,
some reason.
but
Like, I
mostly
couldn't
centered
be
on their
one.
heads and tails.
Their horns are
Their
too
tails
big.
are known to come in various shapes and sizes, with their horns usually coming to some form of point or points. Aside from making their visage more imposing, their horns have been found to increase their sense of perception and spatial awareness, as the horns seem to catch subtle changes in the environment and atmosphere.
So my small horns
Their
means
scales have given
that
them a somewhat
I'm less
notorious
perceptive.
reputation to some cultures. Many people seeing an Aura for the first time mistake them for being related to Scalekin or natives of Dravania. But this is a false observation, as the Aura have absolutely zero relations to dragons or any variety of scaled monster in the world. For example, while
Are all of his
dimorphism
lore
between
facts,
genders is
like,
uncommon
verified?
in nature, it's very much represented in the size difference between their men and women.
And where do you even get the lore to make
Aura
these
men
videos?
are known to tower over most other races, much like Elzin or Rogadin, whilst an Aura female is much more petite and resembles the Hyur in stature more often than not. Likewise, it's been observed that the Aura have a unique and sometimes colorful ring that is found against the iris and or sclera of their eyes.
I love coloring that
Granted
ring.
them by their horns, combined
It's
with
like
their
every time I wear
unique
something new,
gender-based
I just
genetics
recolor it.
and interesting ocular designs has not been observed in any other scaled species in the world, making the Aura their own unique
Do you think
race.
that Pyro will
However,
do
this
videos
does not
like
mean they
this
don't have a story to
when
tell.
he's through with the
history,
main story?
or rather, the creation myth surrounding
What do
the
you think
Aura
Pyro
is
will
actually
do?
well
Maybe he's
recorded
already
due to
said
each
it, but I
generation
don't know.
having storytellers dedicated to keeping their traditions alive. Their story starts in their homeland, the Azim Steppe, with entities called the Dawn Father Azim and the Dusk Mother Nama. When the world was created, these two gods disputed over who should rule the new lands. They thus created the
reminds you
Aura to
of,
serve as their
Zodiac
soldiers in
and
a holy
Harley.
war against one another. This created the two known subraces, with the Dawn Father creating the tribe known as the Rain, and the Dusk Mother creating the tribe known as the Zayla. The Rain and Zayla waged war on behalf of their creators for an unknown amount of time, hoping to champion their respective god. But the fighting came to a surprising end as the two tribes began to understand and even love one another, creating a new generation of Aura born of empathy and respect.
Yeah, I think Pyro will do great
and
things.
Duskmother were so moved by this display of compassion, they gave up on trying to rule the world, leaving the lands in the custody of their beloved creations and children as they returned to the heavens. It's a beautiful story of love triumphing over tragedy, and our only record of ancient Aura history, leading us to the Aura of the current age. Like the races covered so far, the Rain and Zayla are two racial types of Aura found in the world with fundamental differences in both appearance and philosophy. One of the few traditions that persist in both tribes is seen in their attire.
What's
Quite
that?
often you'll
What's
see an
this
Aura
thing?
wearing armor, clothes,
This
or
glamour
belts with
piece.
obvious
I've never
scale
seen
patterns.
this.
While many
I
assume
don't think
it's to
I
reflect
have.
the scales on their bodies, the pattern actually symbolizes good health
Is
and
that a
vitality
male
in
piece?
their culture. In the same breath, any mild tears or damage to their clothes are usually left alone, since they view such marks as proof of experience.
That's
However,
pretty cool.
That's where the similarities begin to end, and to understand this, we'll start with the existence of the tribe known as the Rain. The Rain, also known as Children of the Dawnfather, distinguish themselves with brighter colored scales and horns. These colors are usually a form of white or tan, but are known
so
to get
that's
closer
why.
to a
Okay, I
brownish
get it.
color in dim light. Sometime after their creation myth, the Rain left the Azim Steppe and spread throughout the continent of Othard. They were quick to adopt the Here's common tongue, and many different groups of Rain began to live varied lives based on the regions they settled in.
I think I'll watch more of
travels,
his
however,
videos.
The Rain were mostly met with hostility due to their aggressive appearance. This caused some to retreat underwater and build a society with
I was very surprised to find them there.
The others that persisted began to forge bonds with the surface races. The racial tension only began to simmer once a prominent warlord from Yangshe took them in as vassals.
Yangshe? Is that how you pronounce it?
Impressed by their wisdom and skill. After that, many Rain became respected as they were seen as peerless warriors under the lords they served. Some then traveled further east to the land of Koshu and became known as legendary blade masters. This history tracks with their physiology. The Rain aren't the strongest Aura when it comes to raw power, but what they lose in strength, they win in dexterity, making them surprisingly agile. As they became accustomed to living and mingling with other races, the Rain began to learn and teach. This opening of the mind made them into reliable mages and wise scholars.
Whatever are they doing?
The Rain are now thoroughly absorbed into the cultures of Doma and Hingashi as valuable assets and kin. Their naming conventions reflect this, as they've adopted similar naming patterns to Eastern societies. With this newfound confidence, the Rain began to slowly spread throughout the world, with the bulk of their numbers being a direct response to recent Garlean invasion. Their original loyal service to the
told a good
Dawnfather
story
is reflected
in
in
Sorrow
their service
Verlet
to
about
whomever
it.
they pledged themselves.
You were able to hear that?
Stories of noble Rain giving their all to
Oh my
advise
God.
and uplift whatever person, place,
He
or
just
cause they believe
is
in.
refusing sleep today.
Next, we move on to their cousins, the Zayla. Also called the Children of the Duskmother, the Zayla are identified by their darker scales, which are
If he
mostly
doesn't
in
go to
shades
bed,
of
I
dark
will watch
blue,
one other video.
and black.
And I will
Zayla
not
have
be
remained
able
in
to
their
do
ancestral
Hildy
home of
today
the Azim
because I'm gonna
Steppe
have
as
to
nomads,
put him to
and
bed.
do not look on the other races with the same patience and respect the Rain do. In fact, if you're unable to prove your worth through actions alone, then you're less than dirt in their eyes, because even the ground beneath one's feet serves a purpose.
Which I think
Love
is
of
okay.
action and hate for
So I belong
politics
here.
is commonplace in most tribes of Zayla, to varied degrees. This is also partly why they've only recently began to develop a written language in the past couple hundred years. With no universal formula, each tribe can have its own written characters, making translations difficult if not impossible without talking to the tribe it came from. This simple nomadic life suits them fine though, as most Zayla tribes live and die by the codes of their respective groups. The most common rules being to respect the Azim Steppe and honor the Duskmother. And the best way to honor their goddess is through shows of strength. Their love of combat has left many races calling the Zayla barbaric, but it's this lust for battle that's honed them into machines of war. While you
funny
won't find many mages amongst the Zayla,
when you
will
realize
find
how
excess
tiny
of them
they
mastering
actually are.
various forms of weaponry
But then
and
again,
martial arts.
what Lalas are tiny as
It
well,
was rare,
so they're
but
vicious.
some groups of
Doesn't
Zayla
mean
left
anything.
the Azim Steppe in search of strong opponents, greater challenges, and to satisfy other desires. To many of these Zayla, there was no greater beast to defeat than that of the unknown, which is why we've steadily seen more Zayla in the world outside of the Azim Steppe. But like most descendants, the newer generations of Zayla
Is this a
grew up
mount
outside of the Azim Steppe
from
have
one of the
steadily
beast
begun
tribes,
to get
or
absorbed
no?
into their new cultures, making them more civil. Currently within the Azim Steppe, there are roughly 51 known tribes still living their best lives, with each and every one of them having their own culture and dogma. Some are passive and tolerant, while others are
welcome
just
back.
as brutal and violent as the stories paint.
I've just been watching all sorts of
Unfortunately,
Final
there
Fantasy
is not enough
videos
time to
today.
cover the differences of all of these
It's been
tribes,
quite fun.
But I may cover the currently known Zayla tribes in greater detail at a later date. That being said, the number of tribes is known to change from time to time. This is because of some tribes absorbing others into their ranks, if not killing them outright.
Oh, the Ishgard
The one
crafting.
thing
Oh, okay.
all of the tribes agree upon is the Nadam. The
Never
Nadam is a
mind.
combat ritual in which any tribe wishing to stand as the dominant group may participate, though not all tribes attend. The Nadam simulates open warfare, and the one who emerges undefeated is crowned
The chess
the
piece is
Kagan,
really cool.
leader
Too
of
bad
the
it's
Azim
for
Steppe
males.
and overlord of all tribes. Because of this, no one leader sits at the top for their entire life, not with so many fighters eager to prove themselves in the eyes of gods and men. But an old Zayla will warn you against recklessness. They'll admit that violence lives deep in the hearts of all those who crave glory. They'll say never to delight in violence, but also never to deny your nature. That being said, the Outlaw
Be
become
violent.
more than a race restricted to the continent of Othard. They've begun to spread far and wide, with both Rain and Zayla showing the tenacity and skill of their species. Despite the racial stigma they face from time to time, they've proven themselves capable fighters and survivalists, making any who join your ranks an invaluable asset and loyal friend.
What a cool video.
Good day. Thank you for staying to the end of my lesson. It's my hope that you found something new and interesting in between.
Yeah, that really is helpful. Like, if you want to roleplay into your
subscribing
race,
and liking this video,
you should definitely listen to these videos, just kind of learn more about it and be like, yes, this is me. A violent little thing. Oh, man. I have another video that I'm going to watch today, and I think this is going to be the last one. Today, I am going to cut the stream a little short. Because it seems that I'm going to have to put that little monster to bed, because he's just been rather unwilling to. So I'm just going to take time to do that. So I will not be, even though I said I would, I will not be doing Hildy today. I think I might continue with full on Hildy next time. Next time is Sunday, I think. And instead of just doing like the 3.5 chapter or 3.5 chapter that I have left to do, I want to do more. So I think I will be progressing through Heavensport and Stormblood Hildy on Sunday, and yeah, it's gonna be fun, but not today. I will change the thumbnail to this video after I'm done because of today's circumstances, but I guess it's understandable since kids do need to sleep and it's about time. Anyway, this is another video that will help you gain a little bit more understanding, I guess, on what's happening in WoW if you're not from WoW. I actually don't know what it is, what the whole video is. But I'm just gonna let's just watch the video.
So much in World of Warcraft is designed toward nudging you into purchasing WoW tokens. The most obvious example of this is the legendary Caravan Brutosaur, which cost 5 million gold. And
this is a mount that's not available anymore. Technically not available. You can still get it through something that's called like the black market auction house, and from time to time it will appear there and be super expensive, but you can still get it, but it's very rare and you have to bid for it and whatnot. So
it had the completely unique ability to to allow you to use the auction house anywhere in the world a mount could be summoned. For those unfamiliar, the only other way to access the auction house would be to head to a main faction city or the current expansion city
when the
if you have the
token
engineer
costs
profession.
75k.
If we were to calculate the cost of the Caravan Brutosaur in real money using a conservative 200k gold per WoW token at $20 per WoW token, the real money cost of the Caravan Brutosaur would have been $500.
And people paid for this. People
Now,
actually legitimately paid for this.
Well, at least they stopped selling the Caravan Brutosaur at the end of the Battle for Azeroth expansion.
$500.
But this may have been a calculated
For a mount that saves your time, because it has the auction house vendor that you can summon at any time. So anything you have and want to put at the auction house and just refresh your auction house quickly and make more and more and more gold is just there. It just saves your time.
way to
Pay
employ
$500
a commonly used marketing tactic
dollars
called the
to
scarcity
be able
effect.
to play the game
This
faster.
effect essentially capitalizes on the fear of missing out on a sale or product by putting a timer on this item. This practice is also heavily featured in other games like Fortnite, who actively rotate skins on sale in their shop daily with no way of knowing when they'll be back. This puts everyone on a 24-hour timer to make that purchase of a skin that they like and pushes them toward making a purchase now by
had no
eliminating
idea.
the possibility for the
play the
player
game,
to
so I
fully
don't know how it
rationalize their
works.
decision.
That's rough.
Though, at least in Fortnite's defense, the game is completely free and requires no monthly subscription if you want to just play and don't
It's a
care about the
freaking puppy
cosmetics
at
or the
your-
battle pass. WoW, on the other hand, asks $40 per expansion and $15 a month from its players just to have the right to play all the content in the game.
Like Final Fantasy.
Other core
but
aspects
it's
of
not
WoW are
necessarily a
also
bad
designed
thing.
to keep you poor. Let's take a look at raiding, the core endgame activity of WoW,
So
which has
expensive.
numerous one-time use consumables that are often required by your guild. These include food buffs, potions, flasks, and for some fights, runes.
Runes and armor chests.
In addition to
as
this,
well.
properly preparing your
And
character
oils
every time you
in-
get a
in
new piece of gear
Shadowlands.
includes costs associated with enchanting and purchasing gems for those items.
That's true.
According to the Reddit user Rubik, in 2018, the
Like when you go into a WoW raid, you have a feeling like you're fully drugged and then just like equipped with the most random things to even be able to enter the raid. It's crazy.
average cost for a guild's weekly raid was 330k gold per week if they were to raid in 2 3-hour sessions, or approximately $33
We raided
in
twice
real
a
money
week
if purchased with WoW
to
tokens. Dividing that
twice a
cost
week.
by 20 mythic raiders,
Twice a
we
week,
get an
for
estimated
4.5
cost of
hours.
16.5k
Or
gold
5.5
per
hours.
raider.
It's a
And that
lot.
doesn't even begin to count the cost of being prepared for Mythic Plus runs,
Where you get
as they
the
are oftentimes a core part of the gearing
gear.
process as well. Ultimately, gold sinks are a part of every MMO. And honestly, they're completely fine in most of them. But when a company builds a monetary incentive to nudge people toward being able to spend real money for everything in the game, that's when every gold sink
I still can't
becomes
believe
a
they
possible
allowed it.
source of real money
Like
for
that
that
legitimately
developer.
just ruined the game.
And that's when the system can turn from game mechanic to an anti-consumer predatory practice. And that brings us back to where we were at the start of this video. New Blizzard lead Mike Ybarra actively selling boost runs and advertising it freely on Twitter. Interestingly, Blizzard policy on boosting is very fast and loose, with this article suggesting that, quote, selling of items and services for gold is allowed,
Yeah.
but should be advertised through the realm's trade chat.
And you can just buy the token and turn it into gold to pay for these boosts. So for those of you who haven't played WoW and are trying to understand it better, that's pretty much the essence of it. You pay real money that to turn it into in-game currency to pay the in-game carries and boosts so that you could get items, so that you can actually play the game, or that you can like get rewards for it. So there's no real achievement anymore because you never know if people paid for it or not.
Not allow advertisements in the group finder, end quote. Well, someone forgot to get these people the memo, because it was, and to my knowledge still is, rampant in the group finder. I even ran a poll that asked, regardless of which MMO you play, do people selling boost runs, raid clears, bother you? The results were pretty clear, with 55% of respondents suggesting an outright yes, it does bother
No, there
them.
wasn't a real memo.
Another 30% suggesting that
It's
only
just not
if
allowed,
the game has gold
but
that
the
can
game
be bought
allows
with
it.
real
No
money,
one cleans
and
it
only
up.
15%.
You can install an add-on that will filter the group finder for you to not see the words that the group names that, for example, contain WTS or want to sell or boosting or whatever. You can make your own filters and basically deal with it that way. But
Oh, it does not bother them at all. Now let's contrast Blizzard's stance on RMTs and boosting with Yoshi P and his team's stance on RMTs and boosting in Final Fantasy XIV. And to do so, let's hear from the man himself during the launch of Heaven's Ward years ago.
セッションの中でも、特にたくさんの今フィードバックをいただいているのが、オプショナルアイテムのショップに関してです。
Since the announcement in Las Vegas concerning the optional item shop, players around the globe have been very vocal with their opinions.
非常に喜んでいただいている声もあれば、この先、今回よりもむしろこの先どうなるだろうという声もたくさんいただいてます。
While many comments have been positive, there also have been a number of players who have expressed their worry, wondering what's going to happen to Final Fantasy XIV in the near future.
もう一回皆さんにお伝えさせていただきます。No pay to win です。
I want you guys to know. I don't have to translate that. No pay to win.
例えば、一部フォーラムに上がっている声を、僕も読ませていただきました。例えば、
So I've been checking out the forums this past week, and we've heard a lot of different opinions, including
この先、ミニオンは一切インゲームの中では取れずに、アイテムショップだけで販売されるんじゃないかと。
For example,
like, I can totally see him saying this because he is the man who actually actively raids with his character, tries hard, also farms his tombstones, you know, does all the in-game progression and stuff. And towards him, not just as a developer and as a director, but also as a player. How is it fair for him to let, you know, someone else in his backyard, or let's say, well, backyard as in like a game, how is it fair for someone else to pay that money and basically be able to get more than what he's getting? So the fact that he's playing the game and that he's feeling what it's like to go through these progressions and these things that players do to get the gear, to get whatever, like, I think that alone instills in you the values of how important it is to keep that. Like, that's sacred. That should be sacred. The fact that you just have to fight for your own rewards. Okay, some people say that it's okay to sell boosts for as long as there's no way to translate real money into gold. There will always be external websites that you can't really do much about. But let's say that didn't exist. If I was, for example, if I wanted to, I don't know, get a weapon or whatever from any, you know, ultimates, and if I wasn't ready to actually just sit down and commit to learning my job, if I wanted to spend 6 months farming the gil instead of 6 months getting ready to do it myself, some people in some cases would say that that's okay because I'm not affecting anyone. I'm still spending my in-game time working towards a progression. Now, should that be the same reward that I'm getting as someone who actually just sat down and did the work? No, in my opinion, no, it shouldn't. but that's just the way it is.
Future minions only be obtainable through optional item sales shop.
No です。
No.
そして例えばダンジョンが販売されるんじゃないかと。
Some people are worried that maybe we will sell dungeons.
No pay to win.
No.
Thank God.
例えば今回確かに皆さんから、お金をいただくことにはなります。ただそうして皆さんからいただいたお金に関しては、例えば今まで以上にもっとたくさんのミニオンを作って一つのパッチでインゲームに実装することができたり。
Again, through the optional item shop, again, will be you have to pay for these items. But with those funds, we can do many different things for the games. For example, using that money to create more minions and more vanity items to include into the game and obtain in-game.
もっとたくさんのスプリングレースのような可愛らしいおしゃれアイテムをインゲームに実装することだったり。
Again, using those funds to create new vanity items and new gear like the spring dresses.
皆さんが非常に待ち望んでいる
It's great that he's actually giving these examples on where the money goes. That's important to know as a Bing customer.
More housing options, creating more servers,
housing
so
options.
Have more plots of land.
Always happy to hear
今回
that.
皆さんにお知らせしたように、世界各地にヨーロッパだけではなく、これからも皆さんが快適にゲームをプレイできるようにデータセンターを作る費用に回させていただいたり。
And also, and finally, the biggest thing is using these profits to create a better play experience for players by doing things like adding the new EU dataset.
もちろん我々儲けさせていただきます。その分でも皆さんに必ず
He's figured it
還
out.
元していくこ
And it
とをお
took
約束しま
time
す。
for people to recognize that this
The
is
money
the
that we
game
get from these optional item shops, we want to give back to the community.
works, that people will love. It
That's
took
not
time, but the time is now. So it works.
On October 27th, 2021, the Final Fantasy XIV developers even updated and reinforced their policy on RMT and boosting, confirming it as a bannable offense to sell duty clears, even though they do not have something akin to a WoW token. Now, I think both Blizzard and Square Enix can certainly be criticized for their real money stores, but that's a different topic for another time. For now, though, when it comes to real money transactions and pay-to-win elements, I think it's pretty clear which company is the one that is being more consumer-friendly.
And they both cost
Do you
the
agree
same,
with my take?
so-
Is there something I missed? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. As a new YouTuber, I really just wanted to say that your support truly means the world to me. So I hope that you all stay well, and peace out.
That was a good video and a really good explanation. Oh, I love that. That last scene. It's dreadful, but it was fun to see it. Anyway, I am going to have to go a bit earlier today, so I'm cutting it a bit short. I was gonna do the Hildy quest as well, but I'm going to keep it full Hildy on Sunday, so I will start with the last patch of the 3.5, like I said, the one that I started last time, whatever, and then I will be progressing through Stormblood Hildy. And yeah, that is pretty much what my plans are. And I will see you next time on Sunday at 9 p.m. Central European Time, or 3 p.m. EST, or 4 a.m. Japanese time. So yeah, thank you for hanging out today. I hope you had a great time. I had an amazing stream. It was a bit different than like what I normally do, but you guys have been very helpful with educating me on the latest FF news, and I just have to kind of give it back to you a little bit and just have these chill streams where we can actually talk about things and just kind of burn that time before Endwalker. But I will complete Hildy before Endwalker. I want to make sure I'm ready with that. And I wanted to do a little bit more than that, but I don't think I'm gonna have the time, so that's fine. Anyway, have a great night. Take care, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you at the end of it on Sunday. Bye.